I want to play in Europe. What the hell does that mean, right? Because Europe could be Latvia, Luxembourg.
No one's talking about Latvia or Luxembourg, dumbass.
So you don't want to just shove it in there. Start with the smaller finger, especially if this is the first time. Start with the smaller finger and go slow.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Honey, eating ass, it is the best thing that you can do for your man.
I want people to realize I'm just human. I'm just human, and I make mistakes.
So this guy, Derek, wants to know, is putting your tongue in an ass really the thing to do?
Yeah, it feels really good.
It's a weird one, I think.
And I know you want me to toss your salad too, don't you? All right, on that note.
What are you saying, bro? You are.
Stop, bro! Stop, bro, help me and stop!
All right, welcome to the Straight Bird Card. We're back after a week off.
A week off because we didn't do our Thursday show.
Yeah, Brett had to pull left testicle and other assorted disorders.
Tired of tripping on them in the shower.
You already got that issue? You wear that t-shirt. I don't have a long dick, but boy, my balls are long. I can stick them in my asshole. All right. We're starting off strong here in the show. Welcome to all of you. Yes, there's a U17 game right on right now. It's a hard joke. We are playing the Virgins of the Virgin Islands U17 team. It's a massacre. We're like, 20 minutes in? They're up 6-0. It's joke. Like, crazy. I mean, you're not going to learn anything from that. That's like watching Manchester United playing a pub team. Honestly, I hate saying that, but it's true. U.S. Virgin Islands is, as the name portends, they're virgins in soccer and other things, probably. So
they do a bunch of scouting stateside and finding anybody and everybody who's playing soccer that might, hail from there.
You ever born in the Virgin Islands? No.
Do you want to?
Yeah. All right. I have to say, so there is this really hot porn star. I don't know if she's a star. I don't know. Named Tara Link. And
real quick. The 6-0 score was at the 15-minute marker.
Okay. Sorry. 15 minutes, 6-0. So Tara Link. So I'm checking out all her videos because she's like
doing research for the show. I understand.
Yeah, absolutely. And she did a lot of Japanese porn. And I just we make
you mean the Japanese porn where she's on the train.
It's like a bukkake.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, because that's where the word comes from. And I do notice that a lot of the guys have very less than impressive members. And I thought, well, I guess it still worked, but it was just not as exciting. So I guess small dicks in porn still goes on. So research.
In fairness, you can't see how small the members are in Japanese porn because they pixelate all that shit out. For the most part.
Not this.
Occasionally, you might find some pixelated ones, but
this wasn't, and it wasn't. I don't think it's a Japanese company. I don't know. Anyhow, I don't know. I'm not an expert on porn. I just stayed at a Holiday Inn last night. All right, Made Pro commercial.
That's all you could do at a Holiday Inn, right?
That's right.
Express, but which ironically was the name of the porn you were watching.
Yeah, something like that. Something Express. Yeah, a lot of Express things were expressed there. Did you see the Made Pro commercial during the Super Bowl with a woman scrubbing a giant balloon? I'm not sure what that was.
I came into the I saw 3 parts of the Super Bowl. When the Eagles were up like 27-0.
Yep.
At that point, I'm like, oh, I'm glad I didn't watch this one.
Mm-hmm.
I came in during the halftime to watch the halftime show, which we can get into now, I guess, if you want. We're kind of talking about the Super Bowl, anyways.
Sure.
And then I came in when they were up like 40 to like 8 or something like that. It was something stupid sore.
Yeah. No, it's a blowout, and we'll get to the halftime show in a second. Just get to it now.
Yeah.
Listen, I was kind of like, I wasn't sure how Kendrick would translate his style of hip hop and his songs into a halftime show. I thought it was going to be very difficult. I think when I knew the songs, I was like, oh, it's all right. When I didn't know the songs, I'm kind of like, I'm not sure. I didn't have any visceral reaction to it all. I kind of was like, my brother was going, oh, this sucks. I'm kind of like, it's all right. I mean, I've seen worse.
So I guess the way I worded, and I got a mixed bag of results as far as people responding to me about it. Is I liked the show in the sense that if I paid for tickets to go see him in concert, I would have enjoyed it. Like it was an enjoyable concert. It's just not what I would expect a halftime show to be.
Yeah.
And as I was trying to describe this later, because some people were prodding in to find out exactly, what does upbeat mean to you? And because I mentioned how usually I prefer the halftime shows to be a little more upbeat, because there were moments of upbeatness. Well, I'm making words up here. Where
upbeatedness,
upbeatedness,
I believe is an actual word.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah, upbeatedness. Yeah.
There are moments where the songs were higher tempo. There, you can actually feel it. And then all of a sudden, it just drifted off to almost a nothing tempo, a burger.
Sure.
Then it got higher again, and it works fine in a concert setting. But when you're doing a halftime show, I feel like it's just always got to be going up at that point.
Yeah, I mean, once you've seen Prince do the Super Bowl halftime show, it's kind of hard to ever come close to that, and that's not like the standard, right?
Well, the people I brought up were like you were with Dr. Dre, Bruno Mars was fine. I like that. That one's fine. I like that.
Yeah, that was all right.
And who else did I mention? Justin Timberlake. Again, it's all just higher tempo, up and up.
Yeah,
and I'm sure there are other ones that I like too. I just don't remember them off the top of my head. But then again, it's not just all tempo, because Coldplay's Super Bowl halftime show was all up tempo, and I was underwhelmed in that one.
Yeah, agreed. Like sometimes it just doesn't come off, and that's fine. But yeah, the Prince one in the rain, where he's doing Purple Rain in the rain because it's raining during. Whoa, wow! And that's probably the last time I saw him on stage. Also, people out there saying it's all right. So much bullshit. It's a DEI halftime show. Come on.
That's the dumbest comment I've heard.
Do we not? Can we not do that? Really? I mean, you're making your side look stupid, and don't do that. You're making a lot of people on your side who don't feel anything or don't say things like that look bad, and you're just coming off as a total asshole.
Well, I mean. I feel like if you're calling that a DEI hire, if you will, you're basically just come out and say that you don't like his music. I mean, that's one thing you say, because I mean, it is objective in the sense that he is very popular. It's subjective if you like it or not. But you can't sit there and argue that he's not a big enough star that this is not talented enough that this would be considered a DEI hire. So it's stupid.
I mean, there are plenty of things we can debate about DEI and what it is and how it works and how it can be adjusted or changed or fixed or totally changed. I don't know. That's a whole nother discussion. But just to use it flippantly like that is just, I mean, we're getting to the point where that's what I don't enjoy seeing on X. And then I also don't enjoy dumbasses that are like, oh my God, eggs are at $15 a cart. That's all on Trump. Okay, really? Have you heard of the bird flu? I don't think that had anything to do with Trump. Okay, so on both sides, just stupidity, just dumb shit. Like, check your facts. Don't say dumb shit. Let's get back to having real discussions about real topics.
And the egg thing was funny because somebody posted a picture like, a dozen eggs for $8 and some odd cents, and I'm just like, yeah. If you look at the cartridge carton next to it, it's like $5 something for an 18-pack.
Yeah.
So maybe don't get the cage-free, all natural, ones.
Yeah.
eat the crappy caged eggs in the dark facilities that the rest of us eat.
Yeah, because I bought some eggs. They weren't even close to that amount. And also just some things from the Super Bowl as well that I found interesting was, number one, How to Train Your Dragon. That's a movie again. That already
it's coming out. It's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not.
It already came out.
Is it already out?
No. I took my kids to see it.
Well, no. The difference here, Derek, is this one's live action.
Okay, and the other one was animation. Oh, but it's the same story, though. It looked like the same story. Yeah. They're just doing the same story.
It's the Lion King. It's Aladdin. It's all Disney properties doing it right now. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a live action Toy Story shortly. And all it is Hollywood is bankrupt of ideas, and all they can do is rehash the same garbage over and over again. And I'm not saying I like How to Train Your Dragon. I thought that series.
I did too. It was a great movie.
Yeah. But does it need to be a live action movie? Probably not, because it is built for an animation. I mean, if you start throwing in dragons, then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what's happening here? You know?
Yeah.
It's not nearly going to be as good.
Just weird. Some of the commercial
live action Toy Story as a horror movie. There you go.
That's a new idea. The I Am Somebody affirmation commercial. Listen, we all know how I feel about self-affirmation music. Not big on it in commercials either. I get it. Some people, some kids, some young men, some young women, they need affirmation. This commercial ain't going to do it. Okay, I'm glad you made a commercial about it. How about saving the millions of dollars you spent on the fucking commercial and go invest in Boys and Girls Clubs or whatever is going to make an actual difference in kids' lives? Because that commercial didn't make any, okay? It didn't make a difference. And then the people born with hat heads, that was a weird one. Also, this at the end when the Eagles win. Eagles, Super Bowl world champions. World. Nobody plays the sport except for here. They play a totally different version in Canada. I know there's leagues in Europe, but they're not real. Like, I don't know what you would call them. I mean, they're like minor league pub teams in Europe, right? So don't call it world champions. Just say the NFL champions. That's enough. That's like calling the World Series. The World Series. It's not a World Series because the winner of the Japanese league didn't play the winner of the American league or didn't play the winner of, their other North Korea. They have a league and their leagues are good too. The Japanese league and North Korean or South Korean leagues are really good baseball leagues. I'd love to see an actual World Series between like the top 4 teams in the world and see who comes out on top. I'm sure we would win, but let's not call it a World Series until it's an actual fucking World Series. Just call it the baseball, U.S. National Baseball Championships. I don't know. I'm sick of us.
Maybe they're
world on everything.
Maybe they're splitting the hairs in the sense that it's the best league in the world. And you have players from around the world in this league, and that makes it a World Series.
So do the Japanese. Football. They got Americans playing there. They got people from all over. They got Venezuelans. So they do too.
They can count the World Series. They can go the Japanese World Series,
but they could
Japanese Earth Series or something like that. You have to probably mix it up a little bit. You can't call it a World Series again.
I don't know what the Japanese call their league. I don't think they called the championship the World Series of Japan. I mean, if they do, it's just ridiculous. It's not a World Series of Japan. It's just not a World Series in the United States. In order to be a world thing, you got to play some teams from other parts of the world. Like, that's how that works. Like the World Cup has teams from all these different countries. The Club World Cup has clubs from all over the world playing against each other. That's how that's supposed to work.
Did you see the video that was passing around Twitter where it's like, what's bigger, the World Cup or the Super Bowl?
The World Cup.
Of course, they're asking all NFL fans at where the Super Bowl is being held, and like of course they're all going to be like, oh, it's Super Bowl. Super Bowl is the biggest.
Super Bowl's the biggest. It's the toughest. It's the roughest. Yeah, that's what we heard.
So yeah, and obviously, I had this long list of arguments against what they're all saying. But somebody brought up some decent points in the sense that NFL brings in more money than the top 5 European leagues combined.
We're talking about the World Cup.
And I know, but yeah. And you can make the argument which one's bigger, the Super Bowl or the World Cup final. And then at that point, what are you talking about? Are you talking about attendance? Are we talking about how much money's brought in? What are we talking about here? Commercials.
Well,
I mean, we don't know how much money.
The money's clear. The World Cup brings in more money.
Well, that's why I specified just for the final itself, because they don't break it down how much money the final brings in, because they're just like, well, this year for the World Cup we brought in $6 billion.
More people watch that over in the world.
Oh, guaranteed.
Anything else?
100%. I agree.
By a long shot, so it's not even close. Jose Reyes for $5. Thank you, brother. Cheers all. With the injuries to our striker room, do you think we should entertain moving way up back to that position for the upcoming window? We will get to that when we start talking about Downs and other options up top. But
yeah. We'll see it. Short answer to your question, I don't think so.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that's necessary yet. Not with Sargent still healthy.
USA.
I mean, it's like me playing against kindergartners, honestly. And then let me see what else was it.
It'd be like you now playing against kindergartners still.
Right.
I mean, one run down there, you're like huffing and heaving, but you still get the ball back and score again.
Right. To all 126 of you who are already, which is nice, 16 minutes in, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with Grandma on both YouTube and Twitter. So you can join us either way. So Sargent's back, by the way, so that's a part of that discussion as well. And the way Downs is playing in Köln is also something we're going to discuss later on.
Yeah.
And, why that makes a difference. I'll let you start yours. I mean, I did mine as fast.
We got flip galore, so let's go through it. We missed the show, so we're kind of making up for lost time here.
We might want to cut it though a little bit. Trim, save the evergreen ones.
Like we mentioned, a lot of this stuff is just going to be like, nope, next. I don't think so. Okay, pass.
Okay, all right. We'll
see. Through real quick. Mm-hmm. So, some people want to know if this is true of men. This is a question towards you men in the audience, which is 99.9999% of the listening audience right now.
Except for the stepsisters. Yep.
The redheaded libertarian says men will more often choose the carefree, natural look on the left. The look on the right, women do for other women.
I disagree with her on the second part. I think they think men like this too. But they don't. Men would much rather be with the girl on the left than whatever that plastic thing is on the right.
Well, I mean, it's the same girl, just with all the foundation and all the.
Doesn't even look like her anymore.
Yeah, I know, 100%. I agree.
It might as well not even be her. So that's the point.
Because I'm looking at the girl on the right, going, what happens when you take a shower? What do you look like then?
She
the
looks
girl on the
like.
left, I know exactly what she looks like.
Thankfully, she looks like the girl on the left, but on a daily basis, I don't want to see the girl on the right. I don't know who that is. That's some fucking Barbie character out of some movie. Fuck that. I don't even know what that is.
Airbrushed. I agree. She looks like she's been airbrushed.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. I'll take the girl on the left every single day. In fact, I don't even want to see the girl on the right ever. Like if we go out somewhere to a big ball or a big party or whatever, okay, then put a little makeup on. But she's clearly naturally beautiful.
But you know what? A lot of times you see women, especially as they age and stuff like that, get a lot of they have a whole skin regimen they gotta do. Put this on, put this mask on, do this thing or whatever, cold mask, this and whatnot. All that stems from the shit that they put on their face all the years prior to that.
No need for
the clogging up their face. It's all that shit. Ancient Romans used to put mercury and that kind of garbage on their face, and
This is a beautiful girl, a beautiful woman. There was no reason to ever look like the picture on the right. Ever. I'm sorry.
Derek, you say that, but how about this one?
Oh, God. Well, that's also some sort of plastic surgery, right?
Well, that's 100% plastic surgery, yes. Different nose, different lips, different cheek structure and everything.
What the fuck are you doing to yourself? You look like a fucking alien now.
A robot of some form, yes.
This is some actress. I don't know who this is.
I don't know either. But the one, I think it's a Disney star or whatever. But the one on the right looks like what AI thinks
men like.
Men like.
No, we don't. Like. We do not like that. We do not like that. I swear to God, I bet you it's like 99-1 in the chat. I mean, who the fuck likes that? Aaron Mortuary. She looks like she's been in a looks like she's been in a mortuary. Anyhow, she looks like death warmed over. So just give me the girl on the left. I don't know what's going on the right.
Yeah.
Like, can we just go natural here? I was always told my ex-wife, stop wearing so much fucking makeup.
Yeah.
When we met, you barely wore any makeup. Now you're wearing all this makeup. Makes me feel good. Doesn't make me feel good. And you don't need it. You're naturally very pretty. Let it go. Anyhow, it's like talking to a brick wall.
Speaking of au natural, we talked about the OnlyFans model or performer, whatever you want to call them, where she boned 100 dudes in a night or whatever, and then there all of a sudden that one chick came out and she's like, "I'm gonna have sex with 1,000 guys."
1,500 was the recent one.
Oh, well, I'm only bringing the 1,000 one up because that's who we're talking about here.
Is that the one Russell Brand interviewed?
Oh, I
no,
know that.
The Russell Brand one was 1,000. This girl did more than 1,000. Bonnie Blue, she
said she did 1,000.
Well, then the other chick did 1,000 something too.
Yeah. Well, apparently this OnlyFans model who boned 1,000 dudes is married, and he probably wasn't one of them, or maybe he was the first one fucker.
He might have been there. Sure.
And apparently, she says, "Hey, my husband's very proud that I had sex with 1,057 men in one day."
Oh, I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure he is.
What that tells me is he's busy fucking your sister.
And he's 20 years younger than her. He's like 15 to 10 years younger than her. The other chick that did it, that Russell Brand interviewed, was like such a total nihilist, didn't believe in love and like some basic things in life. And okay, if you don't want to believe in love, that's fine. But there's some experiences that we all have that sort of transcend your everyday life that should be important to you. This girl had none. And that's no way to live. No way to live.
Casey says he's a freak, he went last.
Well, again, I don't know what the rules are. Did they all have to come? If not, they, like we said, you could
just one insert after another.
You get 5 strokes and you're out, right?
Yeah,
that's bullshit. Anyone could do that.
So
I mean, not you and I.
Yeah, clearly.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing the 100. What are you talking about?
I'm not doing any of them. So, but I'm just saying.
Is this a before and after photo? I mean, look at her here. Reasonable looking face and everything. This is clearly the face of somebody who just got fucked by over 1,000 guys.
Right. Absolutely. No, the other one looks like a wedding. It's like a wedding photo.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
She's all done up. The other one, she's like, well, I'm not putting on that much makeup to get fucked by 1,000 guys, which is fine. I'd rather or be more au natural, I suppose.
Robin says he goes, he loves the money she's making.
Yeah, they all like put in like $200 a guy. So 200 times 1,000, that's $200,000.
I imagine this is a fellow UKer here, Robin. Do you know this guy? Could you ask him for us? Assuming you're in the UK.
Well, he's gonna say the same thing. I'm so proud she took 1,000 pricks. Yeah. They each got 10 strokes. We had to time it because we're not going to be there 24 hours, over 24 hours.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was actually on the sideline fluffing all the guys about to go, just so it's more of a one pump go.
Oh, Brett, they got other fluffers. He doesn't need to do it.
Well, he doesn't need to do it. I'm thinking he wants to do it.
No, I think he's more of a cuck. I don't think he's into the spanking thing.
Robin's gonna ask, so we got him.
Okay, all right, we appreciate that, Robin. Anyhow, how much more of this bullshit we got?
We got some bullshit. We're going to cover a soccer topic, and then we got some other stuff to cover.
All right. What do we got next?
The happiest moment of a new parent's life. But your baby's being born. You should all be happy. I'm not going to play the audio because it's just crappy music playing over it, so I'm going to actually mute myself here.
Okay.
But you should be excited. Once the baby's out, at that point, you're no longer in pain of giving birth, but, this should be the happiest moment of their lives, right?
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, let's see. Huh?
Not if you're there watching. Oh.
Wait a second.
This is AI.
Wait a second.
Is this real?
And look, I don't know. She's quickly grabbing his hand. Watch her in the end. quickly grabs his hands.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Did she say I'm sorry?
Probably.
Let me see.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think it was. I'm sorry.
Something like that. Yeah, that's not what we were expecting, was it? Is this real? I just want to know if this is real.
I mean, it looks real. I mean, it looks grainy enough to be real.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, yeah, that's not what you're expecting, obviously. It's somebody else's baby. And I hope that baby has a great life, deserves a great life, regardless of this uncomfortable situation. I feel bad for the dude, though. All right. The baby must have a skin issue, says judgmental deity. Okay. Abnormal melanin. Yes. Yeah.
I'm actually gonna. I think I may skip the Pulisic, unless you just want a soccer palate cleanser.
Not really.
He did the he juggled the football.
Yeah, fuck it. He juggled the football. Yeah, my balls got all rigid for that one.
You want to talk about some music thing you see?
Quickly, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know how quickly it is. It's your topic, so.
Oh, we'll save it. That's evergreen. We'll save it.
All right.
Don't
we don't need that one.
Don't get rid of it.
I will play this one.
Okay. For the 169 of you here right now, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandmother. Giggity. All right.
Hey.
What do we got?
Hold on, I can get rid of that one. We talked about the halftime. I should have brought that up too. I wanted to play one thing. One of the things that Joe Rogan really loves to watch and break down is like fake martial arts.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You got one. He talks about Steven Seagal, and Steven Seagal is like, he's the legit black belt in Aikido and everything like that. And all that is using somebody else's motion against them, and you basically just throw people around.
Yeah, I saw
I don't need
this.
to play any audio on this. Oh, you did see this?
Yeah, this is extremely not impressive.
No, this is nothing. It's nothing. It's like, this is ushering. This is hey, would you mind standing over here instead?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Like, this is nothing. This is not martial arts. Hello. Hi. How are you doing?
No.
Oh, I'm going to help you.
I'm just going to walk over there now.
What the hell? Here, go over here. Here, you.
God, this is painful.
Go over there. I'm going to go flip.
At least a couple guys were like, I'll go for it.
Flip,
bitch. Make it look legit.
All right. Anthony says, can we get some even flow? Even flow.
New palette
flow around like butterflies. There you go. Man, voice is a little scratchy today. The itchy and scratchy show.
Derek, are you a watch guy, or are you a watch guy, or are you a non-watch guy?
I don't know what that means. Am I a watch guy?
Do you like to wear watches?
I don't.
Do you accessorize?
Nope. I used to. Not anymore. I don't need it. I got a phone.
I like the way that watches kind of make you look and stuff like that. But I don't really like having stuff around my wrists. And I also will wear a watch for like a week, and then after that, it just gets put to the side and never gets put back on.
I have one. Yeah. I took it off 3 years ago. It's still sitting in the same container it was before.
Yeah. I should have brought this up during the Super Bowl talk, so we're kind of jumping back real quick. But apparently, Mr. Brady wore a very specific watch.
Oh, that gaudy ass shit! I saw
that watch was $740,000. Let's take a look at that watch. Is it worth $740,000? I mean,
well, I'm sure yes, it is.
It's worth it.
It's just gaudy.
Purchasing.
It's gaudy.
Is it worth spending almost $750,000 million on this?
Did he spend it, or did he get it as a winner?
Oh, I'm sure he was probably giving it to him to wear for that event.
That's the MVP.
I don't know. I know some people get shit to wear just for events, and then they wouldn't wear that. Shit back.
No, that just screams. I'm a material girl.
Yeah.
In living in a material world.
In a material world, yep.
By the way, tonight I am drinking Taxman's Deduction.
Ooh, nice.
It's a Belgian style double made right here in Indiana, by the way. 8.0.
We've been told that our beer tastes like water.
Yeah, nope, not true.
Should I spend a few seconds and find that?
No.
Okay. Apparently some European or somebody I'm guessing in Europe told Lawless, "Hey, I respect your opinions, but America's dangerous, and your beer tastes like water."
Dangerous compared to what? The streets of Amsterdam? Come on.
South Africa?
Come on, the streets of Berlin compared to what? They're dangerous. And then you can't get good beer in America? All I do is drink good beer. All I do is go down to Total Wine. I drink good beer constantly. That's all I drink.
No, Derek, this is from somebody who clearly has an understanding that U.S. only has like 3 beers: Miller Lite, Coors Light, and Bud Light. And of course, if you're gonna drink a Budweiser, a Coors Light or any of those, of course you're gonna be like, this tastes like water compared to our beer. This is not a Guinness. This is not, he's brain to be here.
He's brain light. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. When I went off and I said, hey, we have so many different types of breweries. We have more breweries here in the U.S. than you guys have in all of Europe. So fuck off, first off.
Yeah, too many IPAs though.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And that's why I was like, hey, there's different types with different consistencies, qualities, and flavors.
Right.
Like and you could get anything you want in a beer here in the United States. We have all the variety.
And then you get a very distinctly potable beer like this, which is made right here in Indiana. It's a Belgian beer. Yeah. It's a Belgian style double ale at 8%. I mean, you're not going to go wrong with that. It's not like top of the line. It's not like the actual Belgian beers, but it's not bad. It's actually pretty good.
Real quick update: 14-0 at halftime.
I told you people, it's not worth your time watching that. But I'm glad you're watching it. That's fine. But you're just not going to learn anything from it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So we went bowling yesterday with some friends for Jackson's late belated birthday. And they had it was Pinheads right there on 37 in Noblesville, or Fishers, I guess. But they had Indiana pints for $5. And Chad ended up finding this pint of one of the beers there from a brewery in Lapel. I'm like, whoa, I didn't know Lapel had a brewery, first off.
Everybody
not too far down the road. Yeah, everybody does. You're right. And we got it, a nice little 8.0, and it was a quality potent potable.
I bet it was.
I forgot what it's called, though.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the actual soccer before everybody that's here leaves.
Hey, we're only 30 minutes into. We've done fluff longer than that.
Yeah,
I thought we handled our fluff professionally.
Yeah, 33 minutes in.
Yeah. So Breck Shea and Jeff Cameron had a little podcasting together. They talked about a topic that you mentioned many moons ago. In the number of American players and the American player opportunities that American players have in MLS.
Mm-hmm.
And because you talked about in the playoffs, you're like, well, how many American players do you think were in the semifinals and finals?
Yeah, really weird because the stats have gotten worse since 5 years ago.
Yeah.
4 to 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even the number of Americans starting per MLS squad was around 3.5 per squad, almost 4, right? That's the league average of Americans starting in MLS teams per game, with like really high being 6 or 7 for the Revs at some point, and then really low for like Montreal 0, which understandable. But yeah, we've kind of gone back when you go to the playoffs and you look at the playoffs. It's like not many Americans playing, and certainly not a lot of young Americans playing. So, and then Shea says if we just invested more money in the youth level, we've got so many talented players that just fall through the cracks. I don't think that's necessarily true, because if they fall through the cracks to go to USL, they'll excel and maybe get back up again. I don't think it's that.
Maybe. I mean, how often do you really see an MLS team scouring USL for players at this point?
If they're really young, they do still. So do European clubs. What
was the name of the guy that played for Indy 11 for a couple of years recently that ended up going to Houston Dynamo? He was like our star player. I can't think of his name.
But I don't remember.
But that was the last time that I remember USL getting scoured for players by MLS. I think MLS really just the only thing they see in USL is what market can we steal, and then we just ignore them for the rest of the time.
True.
I feel like that's what it is.
But
I don't think they scout at USL at all.
I think they look at like the top 4 or 5 players and they're like, who can we steal? But I don't think they're just a ton shit of players who are falling through the cracks at that level. I think where players fall through the cracks is at the youth level, like the really younger youth level, 13, 14, 15. I think that's where they fall through the cracks.
Sure.
So
no, I agree.
I think
if we're talking about youth development as a whole in the United States, not just MLS academies and stuff, I think even earlier than that, I think talent end up falling through the crack because you have teams that just focus on the physicality aspect of it. This kid can outrun your kid like twice over, so we're just going to put him on there, and your kid's not going to play. And then that kid gets bored of playing. But that kid could have grown up and been an incredibly gifted, high IQ player on the pitch. He just had to wait for his physicality to catch up to everybody else's.
So there are instances where you see a player, young players like Scally, not get any time in MLS hardly, and then go start in the Bundesliga.
Famously, Pulisic was too skinny for MLS.
Right.
And now he's skinny playing in Serie A.
His dad said that none of the MLS teams were interested in Pulisic. He was too small.
Exactly.
He was too small, they said.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then he goes on, and for an American player to get a decent contract, he's got to play 5 years. Yeah. That whole 5-year sell your soul shit.
3+2, but yeah.
It's too much.
So. Oh, it's crazy. It literally should be 3 years. It should be 3. At that point, just make it 3.
Yeah.
But basically, the players are getting screwed because they're held to these contracts that they are going to be. If the team wants to take those options, they can. But if the team is like, "Nah, we really don't rate you," they don't have to take you back. So it's all the risk on the players, none on the team.
And they're just outside of Dallas and Philly. Even Philly have had their problems with this, but you just don't. The number of younger players getting minutes in the league is not good right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that needs to improve. I don't know how you do it, but you got players who literally are not getting playing time for their MLS teams who are soon going to be going off and going to play for European teams or try out for them at least. And so you got to wonder, it's kind of an issue there. 100% kids go for middle school soccer and drop out in high school. They transition to another sport because I think we focus too much on running and not the technicality of the game. I would agree with that. But if you're really good technically as a soccer player and you're small, another sport, maybe tennis, maybe, there are other sports, but not American football or basketball. If you're a technically gifted player under 6 foot, you're not playing basketball, probably not football. So it's probably like other sports like tennis or I don't know what the other options would be.
To use an example I've experienced when me and my brother coached, there's a startup club and we coached kind of like players who didn't really have a club or anything like that. So we didn't get the cream of the crop by any means, but these were players who weren't the best of athletes, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But quite frankly, most of them were good. They paid attention to what we were telling them. They implemented it into the game itself. And while they may have struggled at like the U10, U12 level and stuff like that, following their progression up all the way to high school and stuff like that, every single one of them were starters in high school for varsity. And I'm talking about we had a goalkeeper for our team that ended up playing varsity goalkeeper for Carmel 4 years. He didn't play his freshman year, but he was on the varsity team for 4 years. So it begs all the bigger clubs are going to look at, well, this kid may not necessarily be as technically as gifted and everything like that, but he can still dribble at pace and out dribble these other 10-year-olds. So we're going to take him instead.
Yeah.
Instead of nurturing what could potentially be more higher IQ, but long-term prospects, I guess you could say.
Yeah. They're definitely like we could do like an 8-hour show on this with Tack and all his minions and the people that are experts in this area. And listen, the problem is no one's a real expert in this area, and that's why we got we're the problem. We're in the shithole problem. We are in.
The biggest thing working against it in the end is these clubs have no financial incentive to really focus on long-term prospects.
No.
It's all about the instant gains, because who cares if you spend 6 years working on this player and then he goes to college or goes to a professional team? You're not making any money off of it.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's got to change, obviously. And there's just so many financial things and the system structure that would need to change to make that happen. We've talked about it on other shows. I'm not going to get into here tonight, but it's an issue that really begs for a solution that no one's really come up with, I think, the perfect solution yet, rather than just say, stop pay to play. Like, you could do that, but then I think, like, overnight, there'd be a lot of people out of jobs, and there would be no system at all.
If you stop pay to play at this point, there are going to be maybe a handful of clubs, maybe 2 handful of clubs around the nation that aren't MLS or USL based that will have financial backing to continue. The rest of them are going to be more or less what these rec programs are. Noblesville doesn't have a travel program. I'm sitting here volunteering my time on Fridays to have an open practice just to work on technical ability with these kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get paid for shit.
Yeah, that's why
I enjoy it.
If there is a transition, right, it would have to be over like a decade.
Yeah.
Right? Each year you would have fewer and fewer players that would be pay to play in your program. And each year you would get a percentage of whatever player ends up going to USL or MLS. But it would be a slow transition, and the money that you're getting would slowly come from somewhere else rather than pay to play. And you would require every year more and more players that don't have to pay. They get a scholarship, right?
Well, there would have to be a more robust professional pyramid anyways.
Yeah, in the country,
there's simply not enough teams for these youth programs to benefit from developing players to move up.
Yeah, the country's gigantic.
Yeah.
I mean, the country is frankly ginormous. So I don't know where you start this and how you start it. Somebody a lot smarter than me would have to, like, I have some basic plans, but somebody with a lot more details than me would have to sit down, for instance, to map out that sort of what that transition would look like.
We'd have to be 10 to 12 leagues deep before any of this is really financially feasible for us.
And maybe it's a 10-year transition is too short. Maybe it needs to be 15, but maybe there needs to be something mapped out and committed to by U.S. Soccer, etc. And that's how we get there. But it's something that no one's even ventured to do quite yet. We have a lot of theories and just stop it tomorrow. Well, you stop it tomorrow dead. Soccer at a grassroots level, will survive, but not these leagues that obviously steal from parents all their money. So there you go. And then there'll be a lot less fields and development of fields and a lot of things would. So that's why it's got to be a slow transition. Each year, you got to add one more scholarship player to your program. And you have 50 kids in your program. Well, 50 years from now, all of them have to be free. So you got 50 years to figure out how to do it. And I guess that's one way to do it. But then I'm not getting into the details of how that transition would work. Kachi Sports Club says if USL and MLS were not full of foreigners, there would be 3 times the spots. Yeah, well, yeah, MLS has made a point over the last 5 or 6 years as they've expanded to make foreign players like kind of the goal. They're going to South America. They're going to Central America to get those players now.
You have 8 international spots. You got U22s. You got DPs. You got players who get green cards. Pretty relatively quickly.
Yep.
So it's just, the spots are filling up, and I understand with MLS being first division, I can kind of understand it. But man, when you're like looking at like even USL Championship at that point. I mean, how many international spots do you really need to look for in that point? You're going there. I mean, you're not really competing with them unless you kind of are trying to in U.S. Open Cup, but as a whole, I don't know.
They just take the very, very best from Uruguay's not Central American, but South America. They're definitely trying to find some youth prospects. We saw some recent signings this week to MLS from South America, but even in some of the Central American teams, they're trying to, Honduras, trying to pick out and pluck certain players, younger players for the future. Listen, this is just all bound to happen. I think the requirement is MLS academies need to keep, there needs to be a requirement on how much they fund those academies. So we're developing our own. And I hope those academies continue to get younger and younger. I mean, you're looking at clubs like Minnesota who are just getting going on this shit.
Yeah.
They're just getting started. Like, why wasn't that a requirement when fucking Minnesota came into the league? Oh, by the way, coming to the league, you need to have a fucking academy set up in a year. A full academy from 13 to fucking 17, right? Full academies, 13 to 16 years old or something like that. No, not required. So, they dilly-dallied around, and it took them a while to even get going. So,
well, no, and again, it may all be talk, and quite frankly, it's just one team and everything like that. But I know Chicago mentioned earlier, or at least the one of the technical director or whatever, but stated that their goal is to have 5 players who've come up through the system, the academy, the MLS Next Pro, and stuff like that, etc., to be on the starting 11. So, well, I mean, you got Brady, you got Pineda, you got Gutierrez. There's already 3 of the 5 right there.
All right, good luck to them.
I'm just saying.
I listen. I'm fine with them saying what their goal is. I just rather than just do it and stop talking.
Well,
about it.
They haven't had any time to do it yet, man. You got to give them time here.
All right.
They literally just said it.
It's a wonderful goal. I've heard a lot of wonderful goals over the years.
I agree.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. What else we got?
Yeah, Derek's a jaded cop.
I am. Oh,
you're not impressing me. Show me some action. God damn it!
I thought you called me a cock there for a second, which
man.
I clearly am.
He's a jaded cock. He's been in too many filthy pussies.
Clearly, that's an issue. I don't know how many filthy ones I've been.
Filthy, disgusting. Pussies.
I think it would the actual word would be questionable. Questionable. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Suspect vagina.
Suspect. Yes. You're taking a risk with your penis. Good luck with that.
You don't know what's going to happen in the end. You roll the dice anyways.
I survived. I
will survive.
I rolled a lot of dice and it's all okay. It's all okay. All right. I worried there for a while in my 30s. All right.
There you go. Congratulations for surviving too.
I know. All right. What else we got?
Transfer news. Who's getting mounted on transfer news? Who's getting over on transfer news? Transfer news. Everyone loves that transfer news. Whatever.
Derek, that was really good, Derek.
That was on for once.
It was on. I like it.
Yeah. All right. Interesting. Cocking. I'm just kidding. Coaching. Cocking possibly on the move. Good for him to get a loan for the second half of the season, get playing time, and develop my guy. We need the help. And develop my guy. We need help.
Apparently he's potentially on the move to the Swiss League. Now he says he's on the radar for FC Winterthur.
Brett. Winterthur.
Winter, you're right. My bad.
It's German. They speak German in that part of Switzerland.
That's fair. No,
Switzerland.
I should have. I don't know why I said winter.
Yeah.
That's very American of me. Very American of me.
I wish Diego Coaching the very best. When it happens, until it happens, who cares? Don't care. Call me when he's there.
As Jorge Castillo says, they have less than 1,000 people following them. That's fair. That's true. They may just be making this might be all malarkey. But you know what? most of our transfer news is malarkey.
Yes, by the way, 90%, 95% of the shit you read on X about transfer news is bullshit. We're just saying here.
Well,
bullshit.
Our transfer news segment used to have a unicorn with the rainbow and fireworks going off, and spelled NOOS.
Right.
I mean, we don't take most of the transfer news that we talk about here. We don't take super serious.
I mean, this one's believable. It's absolutely believable that Vintather would want him. But honestly, call me when it happens. Well, did it? Okay.
Yeah.
Before the winter transfer window closes, hasn't it closed? Okay. According to Fijazes, Barca is willing to offer up to $10 million to sign 16-year-old prodigy. Oh God, here we go with the
prodigy
from New York Red Bulls, Julian Hall.
I didn't even see the prodigy aspect. I'm just like, oh look, Julian Hall. Okay.
Barcelona, New York Red Bull talent Julian Hall with a full canister of lube, according to this report. Okay.
Man, we have a lot of it's funny because taking this aside here, going on to a kind of a topic on this, but you had mentioned many a moon ago of a topic of like, hey, where are all these Pulisic's, these Reynas that will be making their move to Europe and working their way up through the teams? You know, we have the Matisse Alberes, we have the Kevin Sullivans now.
Matisse Albert is a real one.
Sure. I'm using all these 16-year-olds as an example here.
Sure.
And then here's another 16-year-old. So it's possible that we still have them coming up through the woodwork. They're just not broadcasted as much. And they haven't made the move over yet. But I'm not even saying, jumping back to this now, a lot of people have their take on this. This, U.S. men's national team worldwide had posted this. Well, I mean, football's Final Frontier says Cap.
No.
It's a lie.
No.
Edgar says, really?
Yeah, I think calling him a prodigy, he's 16. He's not 14 like Kevin Sullivan. He's 16. You have full hair on your nutsack.
Yeah, Sullivan's 50.
50. I'm sorry. He turned 15 this year. This kid is 16. Can we get a grip here? If he goes to Barcelona, fine. How many Americans have we seen gone through Barcelona that amounted to nothing? Or they play in Poland or Switzerland or come on, people. That's why I fucking hate this shit, dude. I fucking despise this. Call me when he hits the ground in Barcelona and the pen is on the fucking paper. Otherwise, shut the fuck up.
Derek, I don't want to spoil the future by any means, but a 16-year-old is not the youngest player we're going to cover tonight.
Oh, God.
Columbus Crew American winger, Maximilian Arfston.
Oh, God. Is the target of Czech Giants, Slavia Praha. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's like saying he's the biggest fish in a small pond. Great. They're the biggest fish in a league that is mostly a pond, not even a lake. Okay. Not even.
Obviously, I will say the Czech league does funnel players into Serie A pretty easily there. So that could be a stepping stone. I'm not saying that's
thinking. Wishful thinking.
Though. Well, definitely is wishful thinking. I agree completely with you.
I mean,
I'm playing devil's advocate, Derek.
Well, people still get to play in Champions League. Really?
Well, hopefully he would. If they're in Champions League, hopefully he's going to play in Champions League because otherwise there's no stepping stone at this point.
Why not go somewhere more visible? Holland is way more visible. Just ask Paxton Aronson, who's going to get a wallet full of offers after this season at Utrecht. All right? Mm-hmm. And Frankfurt will probably have to look into it and go, are we going to keep this kid? Because he was really good. Or are we going to sell him? Because we got some offers. Yeah, I think might as well just stay in MLS. This is like
well,
we make.
It'll also be the better league.
It is the better league overall. Yes.
Yeah. I can argue with that. Yeah.
Than the Czech league. Absolutely, it is.
I agree with Edgar here and you, Derek. I think you do better.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. Calvin Sullivan transferred to FC Diddy. Oh, God bless him.
He still fits the criteria. Thanks,
He
Big.
does.
I appreciate that.
Mhm. All right. So, yeah, Edgar's right. This is not a great move. Belgium would be fine. Holland would be better. I think he can play for any bottom 8 team in Holland just fine. He would make the team. He would play regularly. He'd get a lot more noticed in mainstream or mainland Europe than if he just look at what's happened to our homeboy in the Czech Republic right now. He's kind of disappeared. So,
well, I mean, his club opted not to sell him, and
now he's not playing.
Isn't it really not playing?
He's not playing.
Is he injured or is he pissed?
I don't know. Forgot his name. Damn it. Doesn't matter.
Trakaris? No, that's
Pukstas. Thank you, George Castillo. So, yeah. Got to get out of there now. Now he's got to get out of there. So, it is what it is.
Well, yeah. At this point, his contract's going to expire soon. I imagine he's got like at least one more year. He's a promising talent. I mean, doing well in the fucking league. They got to get rid of his ass.
So, people watch the Dutch league. Nobody but Czech people watch the Czechoslovakia league.
Derek, we're going to get into the top. We're going to get into the topic as far as whether you follow players because of the stats or if you actually sit down and watch these players play. Trust me,
I can't watch Pukstas. There's no way I can watch Czech.
I understand. Yeah. Unless you catch a Champions League performance.
Yep.
That's about it.
Pukstas has been benched, by the way. Yes, correct. That was our insinuation there. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Pukstas. All right. What else we got?
Without necessarily jumping into Yanks Abroad, I guess we can wait till. Let's wait. I'll wait to this topic till the Yanks Abroad topic.
Because I can do Yanks Abroad.
We'll do that here in just a second. Yes, I do want to.
Okay.
I have a couple of things I wanted to cover beforehand because it'd be weird to cover it afterwards. Because most likely we're going to dabble into it with Yanks Abroad.
Mm-hmm.
But jumping onto the hey, where's that injured player at topic?
Okay.
We don't have an intro for that, but he was once injured, but now he's back. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
He once had a testicle injury, now he's fine. Is he now playing that his testicle is fine? Frank Lampard on Haji Wright injury update. We're hoping he'll be integrating with us towards the end of the next week, slowly, and then we'll see after that. Yeah, we will see.
Gold Cup. It's just good to see news. It's good to see news.
Daryl DK's back, by the way, as of today.
Oh, you are spoiling it. Stop it.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to cover him.
Yes.
Yeah, he played.
Why don't we just talk about the PSV boys while we're at it, Derek? Come on.
You mean all 4 of them are the only 4 players listed on the PSV injury list every game? All 4 of them. Ledesma, Dest, Tillman, and Pepe. All 4 are the only 4 players. All American flags next to them.
Yeah, we got updates. We got updates on about 50% of them. Okay.
Okay. DK is back, by the way. Yes.
There you go. DK's back, Derek. You happy about it? He's back. He's playing with the U21s right now.
He is. And he played 30 minutes today. Nobody saw it. I didn't see it. I hope it was great.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. He got 30 minutes. That's all you need to know.
He got 30 minutes re-injured. Let's be real honest. And I hate to say this, Brett. I really do. But I think another one's coming.
Yeah, well, he's missed like the last 3 seasons, and all 3 of them have been different injuries. So I can only imagine what the next injury is going to be. And unfortunately, because I had a lot of hope for DK, quite frankly, being part of our depth in our nines, an option that we could thrust in there at any point.
Like a 5-6 option.
4-5. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Let's say.
I think 4-5 is too high, but regardless,
you said 5-6. I mean, we're only splitting hairs by one here.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who's your 4, Derek? Who's your 4?
I mean, we could go through my 1 through 4. All healthy.
We know 1 through 3. We know 1 through 3. Who's 4?
So for me, you got Pepe, Balaga, and Sargent. Right?
So we knew our 3. What's our 4?
Okay, so 4 for me right now, Downs. Haji Wright to me is a winger. If he's not, he's 4. Okay,
both are fair arguments to make.
But if you include Haji, he's 4, and then Downs is 5. Okay, so and then 6 to me, probably DK if he's fully healthy.
I feel like DK is just your power target striker
and playing well.
While we have players, we have Sargent, Pepe who can play that target role. I would say DK is definitely your more target-esque role type player, but
and then Vazquez.
Sure, I think Vazquez is behind. As far as the target role is concerned, Vazquez is behind.
I mean, in a magical world where they're all healthy and at their prime.
Yeah,
right, which doesn't exist. So
yeah, okay, yeah, but he's back. He's recovering. It's good news, I guess.
Yeah,
it's not a guess. I mean,
listen,
good news.
I couldn't wish more luck for a greater guy.
Yeah,
he is
wonderful guy.
Everything I've ever heard from anybody that knows Daryl DK just says he is like a special super dude. So
let's leave special out of the equation there because that sounds a little strange. He is an incredibly nice guy.
I didn't call him Special Ed.
You're like he's everything I've heard is he's special.
He's a special human being. He's an exceptional, special human being. That's all I've heard. He's like a wonderful dude.
Yeah, I know 100% agree with that part of it.
Okay. I wasn't getting hot and heavy about it. All right. For the 265 of you, can we get to 269? That's what I'd like to get to. All right. Make sure
let 10 of your family members know. Come on, just bring them in.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with your grandma on either X or YouTube, since you're both all coming from those ends there.
Al says, love DK, but double Achilles is a tough one.
Dude, it is. Just fucking look at how Long's career dropped off after that Achilles.
Well, it depends on who you're talking to. Long's career might not have dropped off depending on who you're talking to.
Oh, for fuck's sake. It did. I'm sorry. Anybody that didn't notice that he couldn't
a significant drop, yeah.
I mean, significant drop in speed, overall speed, and just like stomping power and changing directions. I mean, it changed. So, whatever. If you want to say it didn't change, that's cool. Richard Ledesma is back with PSV and has traveled to Turin. Serginho Dest is also there. Yeah. And we'll train with them.
But he won't play.
But he won't play against Juventus. For Dest, it's another step in the final stages of his rehabilitation. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, Tillman sounds pretty serious, too. They're not even talking about him. They're now.
I haven't heard a lick, man. I've heard of Pepe's status, and he's out for the season.
I mean,
I've heard these two. I haven't heard anything about Tillman. But then again, I haven't really been looking for it. So
Tillman, it sounds like he might be out almost to the end of the season too, from what I'm hearing now. So I hope that's not true. Charlie Davies has Agyemang over Downs.
I got some
fuck out of here.
I got some Charlie topics here. Don't worry. You see these YouTube videos up here? Trust me, we got some
fuck
Charlie
out of
topics.
here with that, Charlie. Come on, man.
He brings up a decent point, but then he completely counters himself on a different video of the same video, but just different clips.
I'm sorry.
He makes a good point, but then he completely counters his own point.
Should I save it?
Sure. Yes.
Because I was just going to point out the differences between the players since I've been watching
those two players. No, save it because that's going to be very apparent with one of the topics he brings up. God. So hold on to it.
You have video of this?
I got video. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go ahead and do that real quick. While I'm pulling up the Yanks Abroad thing here, why don't you go and start talking about the Yanks Abroad?
All right, quickly, Yanks Abroad. Sargent with another goal, 90 minutes.
Man, okay, I guess I kind of want to talk about that real quick. So first off, did you watch the game?
Yeah.
A frustrating game to watch, at least in the first half, because
they always are.
Derby just sat back. They just sat back and said, "Hey, we'll just counter. And then Norwich just couldn't do anything in that final third. Second half started. They finally started waking up. They had some nice combination plays, and that's what it resulted in that first goal. And I was going to save this to later, but since we're talking about Sargent, I want to bring this up here.
Okay.
Because this goes with our whole 9 topic later on. So her post said, "Hey, this is." Hold on one second. Whoop. It said, "Hey, ridiculous combination play and finish by Josh Sargent. Filthy." So,
there he is.
I mean, he's playing. They played it crossed around. Plays it back up to him. He lays it back off.
Yep.
He moves. Now, he's fortunate that his defender decides that his joystick is stuck in that direction. And he just goes balls for him,
Yep.
Leaving him wide open. But you know what? He gets the ball back. Nice little first touch. And slots it.
Crankola.
So, people are sitting there like, well, I don't care that he does it for a club because he can't do it for a country. I'm like, well, okay. Let's really break this thing. Let's break this down. I go, this is a prime example of what the difference is when people ask why you can't do this for the Nats. Norwich plays a lot through the middle. They do a lot of combination plays through their entire central midfielders and their strikers.
Yep.
Their wingers are actually a byproduct in the end. What results if nothing opens up in the center?
Yep.
When playing for the Nats, the ball is played through our wide players, less through the middle and our strikers. Now, mind you, that's more of a Greg Berhalter thing. I think Poach may be changing some things up.
Yes, it'll change under Poach.
I think things are going to open up for Sargent. And once that albatross is removed from his neck, I think he's going to start lacing in goals nonstop. And he'll make an argument. We'll finally go into a window where we'll sit there like, well, I mean, Sargent's scoring for the Nats. Pepe's scoring for the Nats. Ballo was scoring for the Nats before he was injured. Now we have 3 strikers that we can actually sit here and have an argument about.
Yeah, this whole idea that people just don't understand the context of this guy who's been injured every time the call-ups came.
Yeah.
For a good long time now.
They even talked, one of the last windows, they talked about it's like every time Sargent would take the flight home, his ankle would swell up.
Yeah.
It's like, well, there's something there. There's an underlying issue there.
And I don't listen. I can't get this. Oh yeah, you guys are just simps for Sargent.
I'm more of a simp for Sargent than Derek is. But even then, though, Derek's pro Sargent too. But
I am pro Sargent
when he's good. When he's
doing good. Because when he wasn't, I was on his asshole. I'm just saying we haven't really got to see Josh Sargent play for the U.S. men's national team very much at all. And we certainly didn't get him to see him play against island nations where he could have made a big difference. And then we could all shut the fuck up about him not scoring. And I get the frustration with him not scoring, but I think we're beyond that now. You have to approach this with context.
Yeah. People are making the argument with Agyemang. He's like, oh, he's got two goals more recent than Sargent has since 2019. And that's true. Mind you, it was against B and C squads. But you only can play against who you're playing against. And I'm not taking anything away from Agyemang by any means. But if you look back, if you really look at his playing stats for the U.S. men's national team, since 2019, when he scored his last goal against Cuba, he's actually played 15 matches for the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah.
Since 2019. And you look at Copa, where he got at least 3 or 4, and he had bit minutes during that time period.
Yeah.
That summer window. So, I mean, you're looking at time periods which he doesn't have a lot of minutes. Now, mind you, I'm not taking anything away from him, his lack of scoring. He should have absolutely put something away at some point in that time period. He should have put that goal away against Panama the last window he was called into.
Yep.
We called him out on that too. Mm-hmm. Everybody else did, of course. But I mean, he's doing it at the club level. Well, he's on fire when he plays for Norwich.
And frankly, as you pointed out, the way Norwich play, more down the middle, and the way Poach wants to play are in line with one another. So this should be his opportunity with Balogun out injured, with Pepe down, for him to get his shot finally. We shall see what happens. We shall see what happens. All right. For the 306 of you here, yes, we cracked 300. Make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma on both YouTube and X. Doesn't matter. Like them both.
John Rodriguez says, take Sargent for Gold Cup. Who are we taking for Nations League?
I mean, I think Sargent's playing both, isn't he?
Well, you'd imagine, because I mean, I don't think Pepe's going to be back up to health.
No.
Balogun hopefully will be.
It's a shoulder injury, but so you
hopefully
think
come
so.
Gold Cup. Yeah, hopefully come Gold Cup, it's going to be Ballo and Sargent. Or maybe Downs. We talked about Downs possibly coming in this camp. Maybe he shines and maybe he's making the argument for Gold Cup.
Listen, if Downs played for Greuther Firth and he was sitting in fucking 12th or whatever they're sitting in and hadn't played a major role, I wouldn't say shit about Dominic Downs. But he plays for the obvious promoted team, number one team in Bundesliga 2, Köln, or Cologne, if you want to call it that. So,
dude, Jimmy struggled so hardcore with that today. He goes Cologne, Köln. He like said 3 different versions of it, and he goes, "I'm trying."
He's trying. So, I think, especially the streak that Downs is on right now, as we head into March, if that continues for Köln, then we see Dominic Downs and Sargent as your 2 center forward call-ups.
Jack's got you.
Oh, God damn it. That's Damion fucking Downs. I don't even know who Dominic Downs is. Damion Downs.
It's close enough. And it's one of the double D's, and you're just like, oh, Dominic.
I know. I'm fucking up every time. So Damion Downs. Why don't I just say Downs and just stick with that? Like, since I'm an absolute idiot and I can never get his name right, I think it's time for that rather than seeing, Ferreira or Vazquez. Let's see somebody new who is 6 foot, whatever the fuck he is. He's a large mammal, and stick him in there. He's got different skills than Agyemang or whatever his name is. Agyemang, thank you. And he's more technical than he is. So I think he's better at hold-up play. And yet he's still got the play through the lines thing, too.
As you saw with Agyemang, he has legitimate, no hold-up play. So,
yeah, zero, none.
I mean, a cardboard cutout would have better hold-up play. Man, that was our big complaint during that entire time period. Is like, there's no hold-up play. You can't do it.
Right. So we'll see if that happens. We'll see if Damion Downs gets a call. There are other players that we're going to bring up here soon. I'm going to continue this report. Reyna got a whole 5 fucking minutes when they were down.
Down needed goals.
Get the fuck out of Dortmund. Get out of that fucking piece of shit club that's going nowhere but down. This is, what are they, 14th? 13th?
11th. They're 11th still.
Fucking fuck them. In the asshole. Fuck that club. Can't stand watching them anymore.
I was watching them in Norwich at the same time, and Norwich was on halftime, so I'm like, I'm going to watch the Dortmund game because they're down 2 goals, and I feel like Reyna's going to get thrown in here soon. And I'm watching. I'm like, well, shit, Norwich is back. So I went back to Norwich. I'll come back to this later, find out when Reyna came in 5 minutes. I'm not even bothered with that shit.
No, I kept flipping back and forth too. And I'm like, well, fuck it. He's not coming in. And then I went to US Soccer Way and I'm like, oh, because I'm watching Norwich. And I'm like, well, fuck it. He got in the last 5 minutes. I'm not even clicking over to that shit. Fuck you, Dortmund. Fuck off. I'm done. So yeah.
We got 2.5 months of it, and then he'll hopefully be gone. He should be gone.
Yes, he should be gone. Leave in the summer, please. Campbell did not dress, and that was against Henri Chase's Stuttgart, who, by the way, again, Henri Chase did not dress. Something is not right at Stuttgart and Henri Chase. I don't know what it is. It doesn't seem to be injuries, but like he had a really bad game.
You should switch over to play for the U.S.
7 or 8 games ago and just disappeared since then from the lineup outside of like a flash appearance. Paredes is still injured. Like, come on, what's going on there? Like, you don't get anything out of Wolfsburg about what the injury is, how serious it is, when he might come back. Nothing. Absolutely zero.
Something's amiss there, man, because I mean, watching him in the Olympics and stuff, and like, I got an injury. Okay, well, that shouldn't be that long.
It didn't look that serious.
Who knows what the fuck happened? Because at this point, he might as well not even exist.
No, he's disappeared off the field. He might as well be playing in Greece.
Practically is at this point.
He might as well be playing in Greece. All right. Leonard Maloney was in the 18 for Mainz.
What's happening there? They go out and I understand Mainz is higher than Hoffenheim, or not Hoffenheim, but Heidenheim. And Heidenheim is definitely a relegation fodder at this point. So he made the right move up. But he hasn't got a sniff of minute yet.
He's a very particular type of player.
Yeah.
And so I think you really, if you're going to start inserting him in, I think you do it when you're and this is why I thought he should have played last game. They're trying to hold on to the tie. And I think that's when you throw him in. But if you need a goal, he's not helping you there. So, like, he is either a center back or a holding CDM in, like, the most destroyer fashion. And so I don't think they figure out how to use him yet. And that might take a few more weeks. But I think he'll get time soon. Remember, he just got there a week and a half ago. Okay.
U.S. is currently up 19-0. Chase Adams apparently has 9 goals.
So all of you that are watching that game, many thoughts and prayers to you, but you're learning nothing.
I've learned who Chase Adams is now.
Great. All right. And that game, by the way, with Maloney was against Noahkia Banks, who came in for 12 minutes at the end. And I think we'll still see Noahkia continue to get either starts, intermittent starts.
Brady's broke his foot.
That's a long time for a broken foot, dude. I've broken a bone in my foot, and it took me 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're a little over half a year recovery here because, I mean, we're about 4 months away from where the Olympics was.
Must be a very serious break. Mine was a crack, so whatever. So Nathaniel Brown played against Scally. Whoa! If you missed that game, that's still somewhere on ESPN. Go watch that.
Yeah.
Now that was blockbuster watching. Scally versus fucking Brown all night long. That or morning long or whatever the fuck it was, because I watched it later on the replay. Wow, that was a lot of fun. Go watch that match. Scally, brilliant on defense. Scally all over the place. Brown, obvious talent there. Obvious talent. What a fun game to watch. Anyhow, I think Scally went 90, Brown went 75. I was really disappointed when they took Brown off.
Hold on. What happened to my mouse? There it is. Okay, 1 second. Don't go off of that topic here. Because Joe Scally posted a picture with Brown.
What's the Nene shit?
I don't know, that's a nickname for Nathaniel, I guess.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't give it to him.
What's this Nene shit?
There we go.
Right the Gates. V Gates.
Right and left backers.
Pay attention. V Gates. Vita Gates in this podcast. But anyhow, yes, fun game to watch. Probably one of the more fun games I watched over the weekend. Musa, Pulisic, 90 minutes. What?
Sorry. Ryan Shipley says, breaking. Charlie Davies says Chase Adams is a late bloomer, and that's we're not going to talk about that. It's in one of the videos. He talks about the kid Damion Downs. Talk about Damion Downs being a late bloomer because he's like 20 years old.
What?
Oh, I know. That's a thing.
It's ridiculous. All right.
Maybe we'll go back over that and we'll watch it for Thursday because that's not going anywhere, that topic.
Yeah. By the way,
Brandon Pride was a late bloomer.
Was he really, or was he lately discovered?
Lately discovered, probably, yeah.
Yeah, because he was already at Preston, North End. Many people forget that before, and Wolfsburg before he finally made it to Fulham. So it's not like he was just flicking his dick around.
Gotcha.
He was working there. He said he likes to be called Nene, said the commentators. Really? Okay.
Good
Weird.
to know. We got a Jedi, you know. Now we got Nene.
Nene sounds like a girl's name to me.
Watch me whip.
Who were you fucking around with last night? I saw you in the park. Who are you with on that park bench? You guys were making out. I was with Nene. She's hot. I don't know about Nene as a
21-0 currently.
Really?
All right, continue.
We told you the Virgin Islands is more than just full of virgin. It's full of virgin soccer players. All right.
I believe the U.S. subbed out as many players as they could at any given moment.
I posted about this, or I think we talked about last show, where I'm like, you can watch it, but just be ready to waste your time.
I believe your exact words were, I don't even care who's on the roster. Look who we're playing.
Yes.
We got St. Kitts next, guys.
You could put out the high school all-star team for the U.S. men's national team, and they would crush this team 18-0. All right. Seriously. I'm not even joking. Musa went 90. By the way, Musa is loved by this fucking coach.
Yeah.
He just fucking loves Musa. So I would expect Musa to continue to start regardless. Pulisic got a bit of a rest, came in, got the 2 assists. Right?
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
Herc says, Christian Pulisic has 12 goals and 9 assists in all comps. He's leading Serie A in assists currently.
He should be leading them in goals too, by the way.
12 goals is pretty massive, yeah.
I think he should have more. Personally, last couple games, he missed a couple.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's funny because obviously when the lineup came out, people were like, why is it Pulisic starting? I'm like, well, give him a break, guys. They just went out and they made some blockbuster, moves.
They're just trying some shit out.
Let's start the new guys. Give the old guard a little bit of a rest.
And here's the thing. There was this thing like layout, Pulisic for sure. Like, let's just give these guys a little break on the sideline and let them watch a little. And then we're going to, bum rush the team at the end of the game when their legs are tired.
You're Empoli and you're going like, oh man, it's 0-0. Milan just got a red card. Sweet. Oh, here comes Pulisic. Here comes Leao. Here comes Jimenez.
I mean, listen, we've seen a lot of João Felix so far.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not that impressed, frankly.
Colin's a big Felix fan.
Oh, I'm sure he is. But, I mean, not that I expected him to be a very consistent player. And does he make some very amazing plays? Or what you would consider?
He's got some slick moves in there.
He's slick. But other times you're like, dude, you're overdoing it. You're pushing too hard?
Pulisic came in the second half, got 2 assists. Bam, bam.
Yeah, exactly.
Oddly enough, connecting with the 2 people that came into the second half with him.
Yep. Santi. Kind of cool seeing, though. I know we're not supposed to like Mexican players, but obviously I love Raul. I love Raul at Fulham. For obvious reasons, I'm a Fulham fan. Have been for almost 20 years. And then, of course, now that Santi's at AC Milan playing by the side of Pulisic and Musa, I'm rooting for AC Milan to fight for that last Champions League spot for next season. So,
and the current Champions League spot they're in. Now,
so if that means cheering on Santi Jimenez, I'm going to do it.
Once since the group stage is over at this point, and they go in the knockout, will they be able to adjust their roster with the winter transfers?
I don't know.
I don't know how that works out.
No, I don't. I think you have to be registered in the Champions League. I think for FA Cup they're more. You're allowed to adjust your. I think you're allowed to in the last 16. I might be wrong, but I might be thinking of FA Cup rules. Also, we had Cardoso 90 minutes and loss for Betis. Not his best game. FA Cup. It's really hard watching those games. I've had a really difficult time watching much of the Spanish league so far this season. I just don't find it that well. The Betis games in particular that entertaining. Haji Wright's injured, as we already said. There's an update on that. Dwayne Holmes 96 minutes in an FA Cup game, so he played well into OT there. Jedi did not dress in FA Cup. Yeah, they didn't dress a lot of players. So Fulham was like, fuck the FA Cup. They didn't play a lot of starters. And they lost. Tyler Adams, 90 minutes in a win. I did watch that.
I heard he was having another good game.
He was great again. Just great. So keep it up, Tyler. I mean, I was really shocked he played 90. I'm like, they're taking him out, right? Nope. He played a full 90 in an FA Cup game. They must be really confident about his health. Colioso did not dress for Burnley. All right. Everybody's still squirting and lubing up for Colioso. Time to put on the pedals, the brakes.
Yeah.
Yep. Horvath went 90.
We have that argument like, oh, we got to dueling that panic. We got to cap him quickly before Italy caps him. Now it's just at this point like, well, he's gonna have to make a decision between U.S. and Canada.
Yeah, Italy ain't capping him. Ain't happening. Not after this season. I mean, something's gone horribly wrong for Colioso this season in the championship. Horvath, 90 minutes in a win. So he didn't Horvath it for 90. He played.
Hey!
And that was a win versus Stoke. And Gooch is back. Gooch, injured, plays 3 games. Injured, plays 2 games. Injured, plays 1 game. Injured. Jesus fucking Christ. PSV, we've already said all 4 players are injured. Kaveh Zereslislam at St. Truden, still injured. It's been a long time since he's played. Castaneda at Paderborn in 2 Bundesliga is not a starter any longer. He started like the first mega amount of games of the season. Last 3 games, he's coming off the bench for Paderborn. Got to wonder what's going on there. They did win. Johan Gomez did not dress for PAOK. He's still listed. Here's the weird thing. He's listed as ill, but no description of the illness at all. Nothing.
Tummy problems.
Herpes?
As Lily and How I Met Your Mother mentions, if you got to describe it as the sniffles. Otherwise, people think of unmentionable things coming out of both ends.
Crabs?
Could be.
I mean, he's been ill for some time, listed as ill. So 22-0. Is this serious? Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised that it was 18-0. I'm a little surprised we're over the 20s at this point. This seems a little abusive. Abusive at this point.
This is side topic here, I guess. This begs the question as far as what do you do as a coach? Instead of running up the score, what's more demeaning to the players, the opposing players? Either racking up the score, continue like score, or having the team have to pass around you the entire game. What's more demeaning? Like, okay, clearly you guys are better. I'd rather than just rack up the score than just being passed around the entire time.
Yeah, I don't know. At some point as a coach, you're like, okay, guys, just pass it around.
You can only score off of bicycle kicks. 40-0. God damn.
Just pass it around the horn. This is embarrassing because it could be, I don't know what minute they're in, but we're looking at 30 at this point.
Yeah.
Which is 100%. A goal like every 3 minutes.
I don't even recall hearing. No, it was 18-0 at halftime, I believe.
Yeah. We told you, by the way, last week, that game, if you wanted to watch it, wasn't going to tell you dick squat. All right. So if you're watching it,
the 88th minute.
You're enjoying it, but you're not learning anything. Toljan went 20 for Sassuolo in a win. They sit top of the table in to Serie B. Zendejas, another 90 minutes and a goal for Club America versus Fernando Arce, who went 45 for Puebla in that loss. Just a little note for the youngsters in Holland playing in the 2nd division. John Hilton went 90 minutes in a win. lost in Sunderland for Dordick. This is a new guy showing up. Lost in Sunderland. Some people. He's 23 though. He's not young. They did get the win.
Still new.
Josh Pinnath was in the 18 but didn't play for Dordick. We got 3 Americans at Dordick, which is why I cover them. Conrad went a whole 8 for Lausanne in Switzerland in a win. He didn't have anything to do with that win. And then we moved to Sunday, Testament, 81 minutes in, I believe, the cup game. He was all right. PFOC.
Really? I heard he played well.
That's okay. I was.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't have BN Sports. I can't watch it.
Oh, I just watched the highlights. It was like
at that point, like I mean, it's like if he doesn't do anything spectacular, he won't be on the highlight.
That's why I just said he's all right. Like I'm sure he didn't do bad, but he wasn't involved in any of the highlights, like real great plays. And there were probably 15 minutes, 12 minutes of highlights. So I didn't see anything like whoa.
Al says they have a new coach. He was good.
Okay. He didn't contribute to anything big, is all I noticed, because I had to watch highlights because I can't watch the French league with my current package.
Well, stop looking at your dick.
My current package. I don't get the French league on my penis head.
We're in the French league.
Speaking of which, we can get in all the towns named in Indiana after French names. All right, PFOC was at Rennes, and he got injured. And was taken off the pitch. Doesn't look good, but he wasn't a real candidate. Like, that's why we didn't list him even our fairy godmother world in our top 6 or 7.
No, if he went back to League One and lit it up, then maybe we'll see. But yeah, definitely wasn't top 3, top 4, top 5.
Right. And by the way, I only got to watch the highlight of him being carted off.
That was a highlight of it. Final game against Virgin Islands, 22-0.
Holy shit. All right. Mackenzie went 45, talking about another guy carted off. Okay, wasn't carted, but still, he's off. And he may not be, we're hoping he will be, but if he isn't, that opens another spot for another center back. Noahkia Banks, calling Noahkia Banks.
Calling Noahkia Banks, even if he is included, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah.
But I mean, we got a little over a month here before the actual camp itself. So
yeah, a lot of people like not giving John Tolkien a lot of credit for his first game. Hello, tactical manager. I get it. It is his first start, but he looked good. He was not out of place.
Are you referring to the weekend report or something like that?
No, just Twitter comments that Tack made on Max's page.
So he goes into that. If you dive into this comment section, because people bring that up, he goes, "Did I mention anything about the player?" He was talking about Holstein.
Yeah, they're garbage for the most part, but they're coming back. They're fighting. They're 7. They moved up to 17th. They're fighting. Like they only got to catch Heidenheim. That's it.
Heidenheim's in relegation right now.
Yeah, but they're in the playoff relegation. That's where you want to be. If you're in relegation, that means you get to play.
Oh, fair enough. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Against the other team from Bundesliga.
It's only 1 point away, and quite frankly, Hoffenheim are 5 points ahead of Holstein. So,
yeah, all you got to do is catch Heidenheim, though, and that's not a real big ask.
Just
not the way
the fellow Bundesliga 2 teams.
Not the way Holstein Kiel looks like now compared to Heidenheim. And he got that assist. They currently sit 17th. They got a tie. That's a point. You take it if you're Holstein Kiel. That is where the cows came from, Holstein. And then we got James Stans, went 90 minutes for St. Pauli. And then, there's that big debate. Oh, yeah, MLS players can play in Bundesliga. Yeah, they can. But you got to keep in mind, Holstein Kiel sits 17th in the Bundesliga table, and that St. Pauli, these are both promoted teams, sits 14th. These are basically 2 Bundesliga teams who didn't really sign much of anybody, trying to survive by signing a couple MLS players because that's their budget. In fact, John Tolkien was Holstein Kiel's record signing.
Yeah.
Record signing. Holstein Kiel is a small town. And St. Pauli should have a lot more money. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, they're struggling too. But James Sands has been
St. Pauli's like 2 or 3 spots above relegation at this point.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is it's not like John Tolkien and James Sands dropped into Dortmund, or they dropped into Stuttgart, or they dropped into Bayer Leverkusen, or they dropped into Bayern, or none of that. They dropped into Holstein Kiel and St. Pauli. Okay, so let's be really realistic. Yes, they're starting. They're both quality players. They're serviceable players. Why shouldn't they be good enough to play in a lower? We talk about the Bundesliga, the top 10 teams, top 8, 10 teams in the Bundesliga are great teams. The bottom teams in the Bundesliga are not. There are a lot of them are essentially 2 Bundesliga teams trying to stay up. Let's be honest. Mainz, St. Pauli, Holstein Kiel, right? And yet we're talking about classic teams like Schalke and other teams who've been dropping down lately, right? And coming back up. Werder Bremen.
I'll come back to your super chat in just a second. We were talking about this and I wanted to pull it up here. But Jorge goes, Tolkien's just grateful he didn't fall off the edge of the earth during his flight to Germany.
I guess we'll never know how serious he was about his comments about that.
Yeah, Derek, this one's for you, buddy.
What happened with Elinu Dover in Austria? What?
Well, you put a lot of accent into that name, Derek. Try it again.
Eileen you over. Eileen you Dover. Eileen you Dover in Austria. He's gone. I don't think he has a club yet.
Yeah.
We're talking about
I think he got
Sebastian Soto.
I think he been over his contract.
Sebastian Soto. I don't know where he ended up. He's gone. He was let go.
He did an accent.
He's gone from Klagenfurt. That's where a lovely lakeside city, looking up to the Alps, in Austria. If you couldn't get inspired playing there, I don't know where you're going to get inspired playing to. But let's be honest, Sebastian Soto has 2 problems: massive back injuries, and his fucking. I don't know if it's his behavior is a problem anymore, his attitude, but it used to be.
Greg Turlter says, I leaned you over, went 90, but he didn't score. No, he just got fucked.
Thanks, Turd Halter. All right.
I love it. Phoenix was, where he goes, not that one. It was this one right here. He goes, oh, he did an accent.
I always do them. All right. Busio, 90 minutes and a loss for Venezia. I think Busio was fine. By the way, that was against Roma. And again, this young kid who's like 17, 18 years old, 18, I think, DeMarcy, also in the lineup for Roma as a goalkeeper. So something to keep your eye on.
Not too long ago.
Yao got a goal for I failed to finish the match. So I don't know who won.
The team he scored against? I failed to finish the match?
I did not watch the entire match. No.
Oh, I got you.
Yao got a goal. Reynolds started. I think he went 90, if I remember right, when I looked at the report. That was against Fossey in Standard Liège. So I don't remember the final score. I didn't write it down. All I knew was in the replay watching Yao score. And then I had to jump to another game. So I missed it. Meanwhile, Paxton Aronson and Utrecht continue to all of a sudden fall apart hopelessly, looking like total garbage. I don't know what's going on there all of a sudden, but this is the 2nd loss in a row against the team they were supposed to beat. Yeah. And good for Paxton. I don't think he was the problem. There's a lot of other problems going on at that team right now. By the way, we passed it, but I missed it. we were at 369, giggity. But for the 275 of you here now, here on a Monday, thank you for coming on. Make sure you like and subscribe on both. And you can do that on X or YouTube, which is where all of you are coming from.
Real quick. Ryan Shipley says, no, Yao got an assist, pretty sure.
No, he got a goal. I remember the goal, unless it got called back after I flipped over. Double check that on US Soccer Way. That's the most reliable source, I think, on who scored, who didn't, who came on, who didn't. Like I said, I didn't end up finishing the game, and then I forgot about it. That's on me. I've got so many games to watch. I'll start a game and then go, oh, shit, I got to go watch that game. And then I'll just forget the game completely. I mean, listen, it's a Belgian game. Yao's not going to be on the team. Reynolds not going to be on the team. They were low on my list of priorities, honestly. RD Rap for $4.99. Thank you, man. Sup, dogs. Love the show. Hey, remember when you guys took calls? That was cool. Yeah, we could do that again.
Yeah.
I think we will do it again.
As I just said to him, yeah.
That sounded like that SNL skit with Chris Farley when he was interviewing Paul McCartney.
You remember when you sang that song? Yeah,
remember?
that was great.
Remember you were in the Beatles?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. That was cool.
That was cool.
Yes, it was. Oh, I'm so stupid. Stupid idiot. Don't do it. Yeah. Anyhow. Rob Garcia for $1.99. Do y'all have CCV and Trusty in the March roster? Listen, hard to really determine what Poach thinks of either of those players. Very difficult to determine. CCV,
well, I mean, we know he knows CCV quite well from his time at Tottenham. So
he has said favorable things about CCV, but then every time a call-up's been available, CCV has a toe injury or a right testicle pull. And Trusty, I mean, the way he's playing right now, I'm not sure. He's had some bad games. I mean, weirdly, he's played better in the Champions League than he's played it in fucking Scotland. Very weird. So we'll see what goes on there. But yeah, with the injury to McKenzie, yeah, there's some opportunities. The only guy out and out playing, and I watched this Crystal Palace game today before our show. Chris, I mean, listen, okay, I get it. Lower team. But he's been looking really good for 3 games. Like, already he originally came back. I'm like, wow, he's looking like dog shit. But I think it's rustiness, right? He got over the rustiness. He's playing better. He's got a giant throw. So I always know where he is on the field so I can watch his every movement and know who he is, where he is, and what he's doing. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, center back is just like kind of wide open. You got Noahkia Banks knocking on the door. Knock, knock, knock. You would say that if Henri Chase was still doing at least twiddle dick shit for Stuttgart, which he stopped doing and has been benched for the most part recently, that he'd have a fucking pretty good chance for a call up. But that seems to be over. I don't know what Henri Chase did. I don't know if he kicked the manager's dog. I don't know if he fucked his daughter. I don't know what's going on there. He did have a bad game. What's it, 6-7 games ago now? And since then, he's kind of been banned outside of a flash performance. And he's not even he's not even dressing for Stuttgart anymore. That's not good news for.
Real quickly.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I saw this. Alex Cabrezi posted this. He goes, feeling 22, the U.S. men's national team, or U17, scored as many goals today as the Chiefs scored points in the Super Bowl last night.
Yeah, just imagine this. If every goal at a soccer game was worth 6 points.
Yeah, or 6, yeah.
And then you had to kick the extra point, which was like a PK, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always hilarious to me when you see, like, look, man, best gay soccer game I ever saw was like 3-2. I'm like, so that's like 21-14 in your sport? Oh. Yeah, because like 1 goal in soccer only counts for a goal. In your sport, a goal counts for 7 points. Well, 6 in a field goal. Yeah.
Well, and what would the scores actually be in a football match, an actual American football match, if you took field goals away?
Right.
And you only had the opportunity of scoring or not scoring.
Right. So it'd be like 4-3, 5-2, 2-1, 3-2, whatever. I mean, there's some high score. Like defense is almost non-existent in the NFL right now. I'm not getting into that. Yeah. All right, we're not even done yet because Taylor Booth moved to 20. Okay, He got a whole 12 minutes in that tie. So Taylor Booth is playing again.
Huzzah!
He didn't do anything, but he played for 12 minutes for 20.
So Dominic, something there.
Damion Downs, a goal, played 81 minutes and a win for Cologne. They sit first out of 18 teams in 2 Bundesliga. They look a lot better than some of the shittier teams in 1 Bundesliga right now, but I guess we'll see how that works out. Johan Gomez in 2 Bundesliga, 90 minutes for Braunschweig. They currently sit 16th out of 18th. Not good. Brian Kao. Remember this? Remember that kid? Kao?
Yeah.
And we thought, oh my God, this kid's the next Wunder kid. Well, he plays in 3 Bundesliga for Osnabrück. Now, I think he went 90 minutes. Congratulations to Brian Kao. No offense to him, but he never at least said, I want to play for some other country, like some other guys I know. So I just wish the best for him. EPB got 90 minutes for Panathinaikos in Greece in a loss against the team they should have at least competed with. Didn't. Jonathan Klinsmann, 90 minutes for Cesena. They sit 8th out of 20th and still battling for a promotion spot, really. In the
they're definitely in the playoff round at this point, still 8th. So
right, they are. So good for Jonathan, although I'll never forgive you for that Twitter on
yeah.
Landon Donovan. Never. Okay, maybe not another. I don't hold a grudge that long, although it's pretty egregious.
Hey, if Donovan comes out and says, hey, water under the bridge, then I can do it too. I don't know if he did or not, but
can I continue to give Lund his new first name? Kevin Lund went 62 minutes.
Might as well. So keep going for it.
There's another guy's first name I can never remember. Just call him Kevin. Hey, Kevin Lund went 62 minutes in the tie for Palermo. They currently sit 9th out of 20th. Frankie Amaya, by the way, in the 18 for Toluca, didn't play in Mexico. Benny Diaz in the 18 for Juarez didn't play. And Monday, we got Matt Turner, Chris Richards, each going 90 minutes and a win in a cup. And then Cal, 32 minutes last night for Chivas in a win. That was against Joe Corona's Tijuana, but Joe Corona sat the night out. Keith Pieri today went 90 minutes for Excelsior in the second division in Holland against Ajax 2. And they lost to a bunch of little shits, little fucking young boys. That was.
I remember when Keek was kicking it around as whether or not he was going to play for the Dutch or the U.S.
And then injuries, lots of them, like literally almost 3 years straight of injuries for Keek Perry. And then Justin Hawkins, 90 minutes in the same second Dutch division for Emmen. 90 minutes, 90 minutes. They sit 9th out of 20. That loss, however, by Emmen, who was shooting for a promotion sort of, playoff spot. They lost to the worst team in the league, Vitesse, who sit 20th out of 20. Vitesse, yes, that guy, that Matt Miazga's old team. And that is the Yanks Abroad, report. All right, for the nearly 400 of you here now, this is quite amazing here on a Monday. Cheers. What do we got next, Brett? Do not panic. Do not panic. Cap them now. Cap them now. All right. Do not panic. Keon Hyder, son of Mark Hyder, who we have covered on this show. Mark Hyder, numerous times years ago, when he was playing in 2 Bundesliga. Seems to have signed with BVB Academy. The 12-year-old left Osnabrück in December. He's a
prodigy, Derek. He's the wonder kid.
Oh my God!
Derek's a wonder kid, yeah.
Who is this guy posting this?
It's a U.S. Men's National Team burner account.
Is this the guy that banned me? No.
No.
I was banned by the other U.S. Men's National Team guy who continuously posts about young children. Mark Hyder's a 12-year-old. I am glad that his dad was born in California and played 200 games.
Ian is a 12-year-old.
Yes, but I'm glad his dad played all this time in the lower leagues of the Bundesliga. We covered him often here when I was doing Yanks Abroad reports 2 years ago, and he still plays in the league now, the lower leagues. And good for him. Mark's still playing at Sportfreunde Luther in the regional West League. That's fine. Good for Kian.
We'll go with Kian.
Cayenne pepper?
Yeah. Well, it's spelled differently, but yes.
I think it's probably Kian.
It could be Kian.
Who names their kid Cayenne?
I've got a nephew that's named Kian.
Is she like got Native American roots?
No, he doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I suppose you can name your kid after a spice. But you know,
spicy kid.
He's a spicy kid, this Kian Hyder. All right, well, wish him luck. Call me up in about 5-6 years.
What about 4 years when he's starting for Dortmund?
No, he won't be.
I'm just saying, maybe he's the next Blitzik. We don't know.
If he is, I give him props.
Yeah, we'll cover him.
He's more than likely going to be playing for Osnabrück, just like his daddy. Or Sportfreunde Luther. Yeah. Anyhow, move on.
I brought this on because I just figured you'd want to continue to cover the dual nat panics of the not even a teen. I mean, we're when's going to be the 9-year-old that we're going to bring up? When's that going to happen?
Yeah, 12 is too early. And, as much as I like Mark Hyder and had him on my Bundesliga, 2018 FIFA team, Bundesliga team, I did. I had Mark Hyder, and I was trying to build a Bundesliga team with all Americans on it that were on this. So I had Timmy Chandler on the team, Mark Hyder, Anyhow, I had, who else I have? Julian Green was on that team, but Mark Hyder was my center forward. I definitely know who the fuck Mark Hyder is. I followed most of his career. Good for his son. Good for him. Yeah. I hope they're having a good time.
Let's bounce up to a more reasonable age for dual nat panics.
Start keeping an eye on 17-year-old Norwegian American Liam West. West started for FC Copenhagen's first team in their winter camp friendly against Spanish Segunda Division side Elche on Sunday. A winger by trade, he's the son of Brian West, a former U.S. international. I am not wasting my time this early on even keeping an eye on fucking a 17-year-old playing in Copenhagen. I will occasionally check in. That's the best I can do.
I will allow U.S. Men's National Team source inform us of his progression.
Yes, let him inform us when he's starting for Copenhagen.
And not just in a winter friendly against a second division Spanish team.
Yeah, it needs to be more than that. Like, we're nowhere near the lube. Nowhere near it. The lube is packed away. It's in the bathroom in a cabinet. Nowhere near getting excited about this. Call me later. That's what I'm saying. Call me later. Let me know how that works out for you there, U.S. Men's National Team source, while you keep an eye or two on him. No, I will not.
Ryan Shipley says, so Derek will break out the loop for 17 or 18-year-olds?
In a metaphoric way. Sometimes, Ryan, I might. In a very metaphoric way. Not an actual physical way. That's what that other guy does on X that banned me for always saying, when he would post something, I would say, well, I'm glad you're covering him, but let's not break out the loop. And he would say, why do you always bring up sexual things like breaking out loop when I post? And I said, it's a joke. It's a metaphor. He said, I don't like your metaphors. And then he banned me. So fuck that dude, you fucking pussy. You don't even know what a metaphor is, you cunt. All right, anyhow, on we go.
And all right. So it's going to pull us into one of our the main topic here, I guess, in the end. But we covered this back in November when Andrew brought this up as an upcoming window, or was it November, October, whatever. And I'll pull up here in a second. But he talked about a potential one-time switch occurring.
Okay.
So this occurred back in October.
Yeah, he got cockfucked for this. A lot of people said you don't know what you're talking about.
They still are. I mean, whether or not Andrew's right or wrong,
he got something right a while back.
It was
right?
Poach. I think it was Poach.
Yeah, he got the Poach thing right. The thing is, when you got one thing right, you can't live off that and then get all willy-nilly. I'm not saying Andrew did. Maybe he really heard this. But you notice when we do breaking shit like the turkey match, like, if that doesn't go right, I'm never going to trust that source again. But so far, I have heard no negation of my announcement of the turkey game. I think it's on. I think I was right, and I'm the guy who broke it. And I hope that holds true. But we just don't break shit that we just don't have like a full confidence in. But he broke this back in October, and it didn't work out. He said, per insider sources, I'm hearing reports the U.S. men's national team process of filing paperwork for one-time switches. Reportedly, a player for the senior team who has top flight experience, which, by the way, Brown had very little at the time, nothing concrete yet, as a developing story. So
Brown had any at the time.
I think he had like a couple minutes off the bench at best.
Possible.
Yeah. So he has friends that help boost the engagement. So I'm sure he does. I don't know Andrew personally. I've got nothing against him. He got the Poach call right. So
Road doesn't have sources.
Yeah.
Trying to find Andrew's. Well, we are waiting.
Well, you're going to wait a little longer. Sorry.
I think Edgar must have quote tweeted him and basically calls him out on that.
So this is all about Nathaniel Brown. Let's be really honest. That's who we're talking about. It's not fucking Koleosho, for Christ's sake. It can't be. If it is, fucking, we're doomed. All right, Koleosho not having a good season. Not having a good season in the championship. Not going to be called up to Italy. We can wait. We can wait on that. He can go play some more Italy U21 games and, wax his dolphin there in Italy somewhere, okay? We don't need to worry about him right now. He's not going to get cap-tied for Italy anytime soon. If he does, Italy are desperate or they're fucking insane. But Nathaniel Brown, or is Nene? Fuck that, I'm not saying that. Nathaniel Brown, on the other hand, that's a real thing. Like, that kid is fucking great. Go watch the Scally versus Nathaniel Brown game last weekend. That was a fun watch. Scally's defense, great. Nathaniel Brown's offense, fun to watch. Talented kid, a lot of ideas, a lot of talent there. He's the real deal. Someone was saying, well, why would he join our team? Jedi's in front of him. Well, Jedi could get injured any moment now. And he can also play left wing. And guess who else could get injured? Pulisic. And where's a very weak point on our team? Wings. After Pulisic and Weah, it's pretty fucking thin, folks. Pretty fucking thin. So having a guy up and coming, hot as hell, like Nathaniel Brown on this squad going into March is a must right now. An MUST. And the fact that he did an interview with German press 2 months ago and said no one at U.S. Soccer had ever called him or talked to him, and he's not talked to anybody. And yeah. Well, apparently that seems to be over with and done. There are talks. It seems that something's going on
It's definitely got to come at some point. BMR says, in quotes, Brown is never going to play for Germany. Derek, in 2024.
I revised that to say Brown will find it very difficult to play for Germany. He will still, I don't care how good you are, it will be an uphill battle to play for Germany. It just will. There's a lot more competition. There are a lot of great backs, German backs, and German players.
Yeah.
So I think Brown has to weigh this and say, all right, there's Jedi, but you know what? Jedi goes down, Pulisic goes down. I got a shot to play. And you know what? I got a better chance at making the 2026 World Cup with U.S. men's national team than I do playing for the German national team. And by the way, fucking Jedi's 27, almost 28 years old.
Yep, that's what what BMR was saying. He's 27, Brown's 21. So are you gonna eat crow on Brown?
No. I'm not going to. Did the German national team call him up yet? I'll eat crow then, for sure. I'll eat crow. God, it'll be like the third time in 3 years. Once a year, I guess I'm going to have to eat crow, but haven't eaten crow on a lot of other shit I said, so I'm fine with it. And so far, the stuff I've eaten crow over has been pretty fucking minimal, I think, for the most part. No big prediction so far. Busio, Busio, I said, probably isn't going to play a major role with the big boy team anytime going forward. Has he yet? That's what I said.
No, not really, but he's in the conversation at least.
He's still in the conversation.
More than what he was beforehand. And the first time you ate crow, both of us actually ate crow, was about Acosta.
Yeah.
Four Nations League. And
like
but
3
then
years ago?
I think that was premature of us though, because we're like, oh, this guy shouldn't be a part of the U.S. men's national team. He's not good. And then the next game he was really good. And we're like, oh, I'll eat crow. And then after that, it was like back to normal Acosta. You're like, wait a second, why do you eat crow?
Yeah.
It was just a good game, damn it.
It's premature crow-jaculation.
Crow-jaculation, yeah.
Yeah, so, all right. I will certainly eat crow if Nathaniel Brown picks Germany and becomes a starter there. I certainly will. No doubt about it. These DMs were from December 16th. I honestly wasn't expecting him to lean towards U.S. men's national team, considering his German background. He seems to be pretty friendly. So here's the thing. Nathaniel Brown unfollowed the German national team.
Where's this one right here? Yeah.
He removed the German youth team from his bio. Also unfollowed the German senior national team. Don't want to jump the gun, but I mean, listen, this means something when people do this sort of thing. And then he followed fellow Frankfurt teammate and American Paxton Aronson on Instagram this week, whom he knows and is friends with. Yes.
And we already showed that Scally posted a picture to Instagram of him and Nene. So.
Mm-hmm. I think all this starts to lead up to something. You got to start kind of bundling it together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brown was probably the guy I was talking about. Now he's too Hollywood for us. Nathaniel Brown is representing Germany. It's crazy. It might very well happen because LB is a weak position. All right, well, it's still Germany. But I do hear that, and this
Why did you say probably talk? Why did you say Brown was probably the guy I was talking about?
Yeah, I get, if I see shit like that, like the people who send me info don't talk like that. They don't talk like that. Probably. All right. Well, whatever.
Reports. Well, I guess maybe he doesn't know the actual player who's filing the switch. Maybe that's the case.
Well, yeah, I think that it doesn't really matter. I think it's got to be Brown. If it isn't Brown, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
I don't think Damion Downs has to file a switch.
We know Noahkia doesn't because he played for the youth teams, didn't he?
Who?
Noahkia.
No, he doesn't have to file a switch.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah, he's fine too.
Henry.
I don't think it's Henry Chase.
As I was scrolling up through Andrew's posts and everything like that, he actually specifies that back in that time period, the October-November era, where he's like, and it's not Henri Chase.
Yeah, I don't think it's Henri Chase. Listen, I don't know what's going on with Henri Chase. That's going to be something he's going to have to work out. But Japan doesn't seemingly want anything to do with him. And right now, Stuttgart don't either. And I don't know why. Yeah, he had a shitty game. Did I say Dominic again? Damion. Guys, just get used to this. I'm going to be saying Downs' name incorrectly for some time. It occurs to me that I knew somebody when I was young named Dominic Downs, and I just can't get it out of my head. Yep. As a child, I had a friend named Dominic Downs. So I am going to try to get used to the Damion thing, but I'm an old man, and boy, is my brain frizzled. All right, what else we got, Brett?
So I mean, just to talk about that real quick, just to recap and everything, it'd be great to get Nathaniel Brown into the fold. Definitely will be a step up in our depth as a whole.
Yes.
And Jedi is no spring chicken. He's going to start aging out within the next couple of years.
I'd say 3.
So, and then at that point, it's going to be kind of a flip on the depth chart. You know, if Nathaniel Brown does make the switch, all of a sudden you'll see Nathaniel Brown being the left back, and then Jedi might be the backup through 2030 at that point. Maybe, unless
how old will Jedi be in 2030?
27 right now, right? Was that what we said?
28, so 32.
Yeah.
So he'll be 32. He could still be fine. Absolutely. But then it's not like Brown is relegated to only playing left back. He's played center midfield. He's played left winger in his career growing up. So I think we could see other options for him as a backup to Pulisic going forward. And then we've got we are an ambulance. The United States national team is an ambulance. So we need serious depth. I see Banks as a need and Brown as a luxury. I also think Tolkien, this is Samuel Cuts a Fart, might offer, that's just a joke, Samuel.
Yeah,
you know that. He knows that.
Earlier, at least.
Yeah, he's been around. He knows. I also think Tolkien might offer a bit of grit to the U.S. men's national team. He seems like a legitimate character, which, right or wrong, is scarce. If Kiel does drop, I would target Brown more. Don't want any U.S. men's national team in the second division going in World Cup. I'd agree with that. I would just say it's too early. This is Tolkien's first start this weekend. Let's see what else he can do. Let's see how the next 3 or 4 games go for him. Impressive start, surely. But let's just see how that works out as they play some good. I want to see him play some really top 5 competition, see how that works out and what he looks like then. We know what Nathaniel Brown looks like against the best teams in the Bundesliga. He looks great. He looks confident. He looks awesome.
Confident, yep. So, as you said, it's a fair way of looking at it. I'm greedy. I'm my luxury player now.
Yeah, I'm greedy.
We wanted to bring this up because of this comment, Sam.
Yeah, I'll let you read it.
I actually want some players to have developed primarily in the U.S. If we get too many dual nats, then outside critics will dilute the value of any World Cup win or victory, and America's soccer reputation would suffer. Then our players would continue to have to fight the American bias. As we were talking off before the show, I this is gonna be me being a little sarcastic here, but every time I watch an AC Milan game or Chelsea before that, even Dortmund before that, I just remember the commentators always talking about Pulisic's youth development and Hershey, Pennsylvania as being the contributor at that point. Actually, I don't remember that.
They just said he was from Hershey.
Yeah. So my point would be in the sense that if the U.S. pick up actual U.S. citizens, and this is another talking point we're going to bring up here in a second, These are U.S. citizens. These are people who have passports. They're dual nats. Yes, they didn't develop in our system, and quite frankly, most of our players, quite frankly, have. If you look at our 23 that are probably going to go to the World Cup, I would say most of the players have developed within the U.S. system. So I don't think it's as big of a thing as we're making it out to be in that sense.
Yeah, I listen. The outside critics like Colin Reese, who are going to dilute the value of any World Cup win victory, and America's soccer reputation would suffer. I disagree with that completely. Derek, what other non-Americans in Europe can we give a passport for in order to degrade ourselves? There's no degrading. Nathaniel Brown is no less American than me. Okay? I'm a dual nat. My father was he was a colonel in the U.S. military. My mom's German. I'm American as apple fucking pie. All right? And Nathaniel Brown is just as American as I am, even though he spent more years than I did in Germany. So fucking what? His name's Nathaniel Brown. Brown. All right? He's an American kid. And okay, maybe he speaks English with an accent. Who fucking cares? So does Jedi. He speaks English with an English accent.
I don't think anybody
hold that against him.
I don't think anybody really second guessed Jermaine Jones' stance for the U.S. men's national team.
Right. Why do we keep making these exceptions? Oh, we filled too many of the team with too many dual nats.
Well,
listen, dual nats, Brett.
Yeah.
Holistic's a dual nat.
You can go through the entire. You can go through our top 50 players,
dual nats,
and 90% of them have, like, majority of them have ability to play for multiple countries,
except for Adams and McKennie. You go through the lineup; they're all dual nats. They could have all played for a different country. They're playing for us. Fuck this bullshit. I don't care about the dual nat thing, and I don't think. Like outside critics, who are these people? Name them. Colin Reese? Who else? Name them.
Well, who do we give passports to? That's my question. This isn't a situation like where it's like Qatar, where they immediately had 8 Brazilians playing on the World Cup qualifying team.
Yeah, it's different. So my brother was born in Germany to an American serviceman and a German mother. He's an American fucking citizen, and he was. Now, you might debate he can't be president, which I think John McCain proved not the case. He was born on an American base abroad. He was running for the president of the United States, and I don't think anybody would have challenged him if he won. So it's all just bullshit, honestly. We'll take you for who you are and what you want to dedicate to us. If you come over and slack, then no, you're not. I don't want you on the team. You come over like Jermaine Jones or Jedi or Dest, and some of the guys are giving their fucking heart and soul, or Musa for this team. I don't fucking care. You obviously care about the U.S. men's national team because you're giving your fucking 100%. That's all I give a shit. When you come on the field, that you give your best. I don't care what country that you were born in was, and that your mother was German, but your dad was a U.S. military. Your dad served in the U.S. military and was a U.S. soldier? Like, that's not good enough anymore because he was developed in a German system? But your name's Nathaniel Brown? I've never met a whole lot of Germans named Nathaniel Brown. I don't know about you, just haven't. Not in my lifetime. And so
it's not a very German name.
If his name was Nathaniel Braun, maybe, but not Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they're Browns in Germany. I don't know, but usually not. That's not how they spell Brown. But anyhow, I just think it's time for us to quit worrying about that kind of stuff. Samuel, we love you. I think your worry here shouldn't be a worry for you. I think you should put it aside because in the end, I really don't know who these outside critics are. But if this team goes on and performs well in the World Cup, nobody will give two fucks about where the players came from, where they were born, what nationality they were once before, except if they gave their 100% at the World Cup and made us successful, no one's going to care about any of that other shit. Period. They just don't care. They're repping us. They got the American flag on their shoulder or whatever. That's the burden they carry. And as long as they give everything they've got, then it shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't matter. If they give everything that Jermaine Jones gave, it shouldn't matter. So that's it. That's all we got. That's all we got. Anyhow, thanks for everybody that came out tonight.
Whoa.
Whoa.
We had the Chuck topic.
Oh, Chuck. I gotta go pee while you
sure, I'll bring that up in a sec. Yeah.
Right, I'll be right back.
While he's gone here, Kern's manager had stated at the time regarding the Olympics that they were more than willing to let Downs go to the Olympics. Well, that didn't turn out so well. Who do we have? We had Duncan McGuire. Glad that McGuire was included with that Olympic squad over somebody like. I mean, I understand. Damion was playing for Kern at the time. Kern, my best Derek impersonation. Not even playing actually, probably but was part of the system as a whole. But it was definitely a talking point as far as why he wasn't included over, say, somebody like Dominic or God, why did it just say his name? Fuck. What was that? It doesn't matter. I can't think of his name. Orlando guy. But yeah, Duncan McGuire. Thank you. So that's just a little insight into it. We talked about how like a lot of European clubs aren't going to release their players for the Olympics and stuff like that. But apparently, Kern said Damion Downs was was able to go to the Olympics.
That's atrocious.
But instead, we had Duncan McGuire. So no worries, no worries.
What a horrible decision that was. What a horrible decision that was. So, yeah, I mean, you don't call up this kid. What a bad idea. And what wasn't McGuire an over 23 pick too? I think he was.
He is. He's like 24. I mean, he's not too far over that.
Yeah, but he still was one of the overrated players.
No. We had Miles Zimmerman and Mihailovic. McGuire's like 22.
Okay, so he's right on the edge. All right.
But still, we've seen enough. I saw enough of McGuire prior to that.
Listen, if Downs turns out to be a big pile of shit, fine. But right now, when I'm watching on ESPN, when I watch these games, I'm like, this kid's got something. He can hold the ball. He's a big body. He's also quick. He's fast. He's young. Let's bring him in with Sargent in March since everybody else is fucking injured. If you want to add Vazquez in as your third center forward, I'm completely fine with it. But don't bring Agyemang. Don't bring him. Don't you dare bring Brian White or Duncan McGuire. Don't you fucking dare bring them as the third. Soccer Dad and Callie, good to see you, my brother. Thank you for $20. Yeah. Great take regarding American players. Couldn't agree more. Great show again, guys. Thank you, my brother. We do appreciate it. And thank you for watching. I thought the show was over. Apparently it isn't.
You silly fuck.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm here. I'm still here.
This isn't too long of a topic unless we go on a rant. So
now that I've peed, I'm good.
All right, there we go.
All right.
So we got Charlie bringing up a talking point because they're talking about Damion Downs. Let's see what he has to say about some stuff here because this kind of leads into the next video as well.
Okay.
My question is, have you watched him play?
Yes.
Have you watched 90 minutes of him? Have you watched one game?
Yes.
Have you watched two? And a lot of them, 99.9% will say, no, I haven't watched them play. And so how can you advocate for a player that you have not watched play? You watched the highlight, or you watched one cup game that now all of a sudden you go,
come on. There are people like, this is what he discounts. There are people like me. There are people like Pete. There are people like Tack. There are other people out there who are so interested in this player. We've watched every single Cologne game you can get. All right, on ESPN. I think I've watched 3, especially the last 3. Right? Mm-hmm. Don't tell me we're not watching. And if we're honest assessors and we're delivering that information to others, and they're hearing it, they're getting the report, they're saying, sounds pretty positive, then they're making their assessment based on what other people watch the whole game of, not just highlights.
Yeah.
Not just highlights. It's not like they're doing it in a fucking vacuum of highlights. There's a discussion going on out here. My brother, come on, Charlie.
Yeah, so I mean, it's one of those things. Like, if this wasn't the Champions League, if there wasn't the Nations League finals coming up here, and this was just another window, then you could sit there and make the argument like, it doesn't matter if I've seen him. He's scoring goals. Let's give him a look. We've seen Agyemang. We've seen Vazquez. Pepe and Balo are both injured. Who else are we going to take a look at this point? So let's give him a look. Now, mind you, it's the Nations League finals, and you can sit there and say, like, do we want to roll the dice with Damion Downs, who hasn't been tested at the international level, or do we pull in somebody like a Vazquez who's been pulled, into camps here and there type of thing?
You don't need to roll the dice, because Weah, if all things fail, can be the backup to Sargent if you get into camp and you really don't think Downs can bring it.
Yeah.
So it's a no risk proposition here, because Sargent's going to start all the games. You're bringing Downs in for 20 minutes at the end of the game. That's it.
Yep.
Or if Sargent goes down, okay, then you start Weah and Downs is his backup, and you've got another winger you want to throw out there. Throw out Aronson, whatever you got. I don't care. I'm just threw out Aronson's name. Doesn't need to be Aronson. Just saying this isn't, this isn't a big deal. I just think we need to see this kid playing because he's kicking ass, frankly, for Cologne, Köln, and they're the best team in 2 Bundesliga. They're obviously clearly en route to be promoted to Bundesliga next season. So let's get a look at this kid.
I know what he can do. No, it doesn't work like that. It's for the national team. We do not make call-ups over one match. If you watched one cup game, that doesn't mean he should get called in. It's
well, hopefully Poach is watching more than one match. So,
all right, go to Colin's comment.
First one or this one? The most recent?
First one.
This one?
You really need to work on listening comprehension. He said 99.9% of people just check the stats without watching people play. I disagree. I don't think 99% of fucking people just check stats. And I would say actually 10% of the people maybe check stats. Maybe check stats. Most people watch shows in other places to get informed by people who watch the games. Like Jimmy, like Charlie, like us, like Tact, because they couldn't watch the games or they didn't have time to watch the games. They don't go check out the fucking foot mob stats, whatever. Who gives a shit about that? If people really cared about that, okay, fine. But I don't think that's the majority of people.
Well, and I mean, I'll look at like foot mob stats in the sense like passing, completions, tackling, aerial, completions and long balls and stuff like that, just to get the background context. But then again, you could sit there and say, well, we had a insert random U.S. men's national team center back that most people don't like, and you look at their stats only, and like, well, he completed 46 out of 47 passes. Well, if you watch the game, you saw him passing it back and forth across the line the entire time. and not doing anything really progressive with it. So looking at stats isn't enough. You need to look at the actual performances as well. So like I haven't outside of the one cup game was against Leverkusen that he played.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, outside of that game, I haven't seen him play, and all I know is I'm seeing week in week out he's scoring. And yes, I understand it's Bundesliga 2. All I'm saying is, hey, let's give him a look.
Yeah, I have been watching.
We're thin on strikers as a whole at this point.
I have been watching, and I have been reporting to you. I text you, right? I keep you informed on these things when you can't watch. So I watch. Sorry, my voice is going. I teach all day, so I talk all day, and now I'm doing a show, so my voice is going out. I teach 6 hours a day. I'm lecturing, or not lecturing the whole time, but enough talking to make this difficult. So I think where we're at is we finish up this. I think he's demeaning the average fan. That's my problem with this. He's demeaning the people who care about this deeply. And he's saying, oh, you're just coming at me with your stats. Bullshit. A lot of us have the opportunity now with the WWW to actually watch the games ourselves and make that assessment. It doesn't have to be a highlight film. It doesn't just have to be foot mob. Like we can watch the game ourselves and make our own assessment. And with that, I tell you, Damion Downs has better technical skills, better hold-up skills, and better passing skills. Yet he can still run the lanes like Agyemang or whatever the fuck his name is. Agyemang. I'll get it right at some point.
What is this?
Never probably. But anyhow,
Daniel says he got a ban from football. How the hell did that happen?
Wow, that takes some work.
How do you get banned from footmob?
I guess you.
I mean, even Larry's confused. He gets banned from everywhere.
Kick him in the asshole.
All right, so this is my last clip, and this is from the same show, just different segment as a whole. And again, keep in mind that we just went over how can you assess a player you really haven't watched? Okay, that was that whole topic. Not everybody, but the vast majority of people he's asking, like, how can you assess a player that you haven't really watched and claim that he needs to come into the national team? So then here's this segment right here.
Okay.
Curious to hear from you is, would you rather a Damion Downs or a Cole Campbell? If you had to choose between the two. And for everybody in the chat, if you had a choice between Damion Downs now or Cole Campbell now, who would you pick, and who ultimately?
It totally depends, Brett. Like if you get Nathaniel Brown on the team, then you take Damion Downs. Absolutely. Because you've got cover out in wing now. And so if you need to, you can move Weah into the middle. You take Downs. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's not complicated. Who else are you going to bring? Ferreira?
Well, I mean, Cole Campbell plays a different role and not a 9 by any means. So,
and Cole Campbell's just getting his balls tittled for the first time. He's a young kid. He's speed. He's out wide. Coach doesn't really play that kind of game, really, right? So.
Well, I mean, the one game that Weah has played so far where he played out on the left-hand side, he hugged that left-hand side until he got the ball, and then he cut into the middle.
Okay, fine. But if you're asking me where the deficiencies are right now with all the injuries, it's center forward.
Sure.
Not winger, because you can still play a lot of guys out wide who play, like Sargent can play out wide. Aronson can play out wide, right?
Yeah, let's listen to what it is, because we're kind of branching off into an explanation that he's not going to lead us into.
He brought up Campbell, not my fault.
No, I agree. No, I agree with what you're saying there. Our deficiencies are, especially coming up in the March window right now, is definitely the 9. We don't need another winger option at this point because we have plenty of players who can play the wing. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, more.
Who do you think in the end is a better player, a more important player to the U.S. men's national team?
in the end, who's going to be a more important player, Cole Campbell or Damion Downs?
We don't know the answer to that right now.
I know I was like watching these two clips. I'm like, wait a second, we're talking about players. You can watch some games of Damion Downs. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Bundesliga 2 is played on ESPN. You can watch some of those games.
Watch 4 so far.
Yeah, and Cole Campbell's played a whopping 5 minutes. Period. And I'm sure you're not.
And I watched both of those. I watched those too.
And I'm sure you're not watching Dortmund 2 games. So how are we going to make this assessment of who's going to be better for the U.S. men's national team long term? We don't know. We can barely assess these players. I mean, you can assess Damion Downs because you could at least been able to watch some of him play, but we can only suspect what Cole Campbell's going to turn into. We've seen a little bit of him,
and they're not the same players.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, comparing the two is absolutely stupidity because Cole Campbell's an out-and-out winger. I think Jimmy says this later. And Damion Downs is a 6-foot gigantic human being mammal who plays center forward. They're not comparable players.
Yeah.
There we go. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Wolster.
Exactly. So I don't know. The two topics weren't contradicting each other, but it was kind of a weird lead into that you can sit there and chastise to an extent people who want to take a look at a player at the national team level, even though they may not necessarily have seen them play at the club level in this situation with Damion Downs, but then throw in a question mark of who's going to be more important, him or Cole Campbell, when you've barely been able to see Cole Campbell.
It's really weird how hard they struggled with this. Like, to delineate the players' differences and similarities and why this shouldn't even be a comparison in the first place.
Yeah.
It's very odd how they struggle with this, but it is what it is.
It is, in fact, what it is.
All right. For the 438 of you who were here tonight, I just want to say Dankeschön. Yeah. I mean, it's always great. We can get a bunch of us together and have a discussion. We will talk about opening up phone lines again, or whatever that is. Not phone lines, but
we'll open up the chat.
Yeah, we'll open it up. You guys can talk to us one-on-one. We'll probably should we commit to that next Monday for like 40 minutes, 30 minutes?
We could do it. Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right.
That'll be our Monday fluff.
Yeah, we'll skip the fluff and go straight to your comments and questions at the beginning of the show for 30 minutes, and then we'll do the regular show, and we'll respond to your comments in the chat as we try to do as best we can. Larry has things to say. Larry always has things to say. Larry, we know, baby. We know you've been around. Jack Vanessa says, I promise to bring the anal jokes. You know, those are always appropriate and welcome, dear, especially when it deals with salad tossing. Derek, imagine if I left comments while drinking.
Let's see it happen. Let's go, Colin.
It might be an improvement. I don't know. Give it a try, Colin.
Colin goes, this is no alcohol, Colin.
I didn't know. Like, Colin, is there a point where you do post a lot while you're drinking? Like, are you now sober now, and that's normal for you now, or before were you posting while drinking? Like, we do the show drinking, so there you go. Every show.
Yeah, so Colin will send me occasionally a video of him doing his intro for his when he does his show.
Mm-hmm.
When he covers it in Italian, the guy speaks fluent fucking Italian, man.
Yeah,
it's legit, man. It sounds good.
Yeah, no. There's no doubt that Colin has particular talents. There's no doubt about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get into the existential part of it, but I do think that we are here once. All of us are. And I think if you ever begin to take yourself too seriously, and we surely do not on this show.
Like, he says he's never chatted drinking.
Okay.
That's probably for the best. I mean, I've made mistakes where I've posted stuff. Nothing bad by any means, but I go back and I'm like, oh, this is why you don't post drunk.
Yeah. I mean, I wake up some mornings saying, what did I post yesterday? Yeah.
I always go back and look and I'm like, oh God, I didn't say anything. Okay, good.
Right. But the particular charm of this show is that what we were doing is what Brett and I did before, long time ago, when we met at that bar. We sat down, we had a few drinks, whatever bar that was, before we met with the Indy 11 guys.
In Bloomington?
We had a bunch of beers and we talked soccer. Yeah. And that's really kind of
that's what the show is.
That's what the show is. Two guys show up at a bar, they drink, they talk soccer, and that's what we do here. And if you liked it, make sure you hit subscribe, of course. That would be nice. But make sure you like it. Share with your grandma and your stepsisters. Stepsisters in particular really like our show. So make sure you do that. Right. Yeah, but share with all you can. We will be back on Thursday, unless Brett has another left testicle injury in the shower. Go easy on the scrubbing, dude.
Not how I wanted to spend my weekend, I know.
Easy on the scrubbing. Especially as you get older, the danglers hang lower. And you got to be more gentler with them, right? They hang lower, they're more exposed.
I should have downloaded the clip of the Jesus from Big Lebowski when he's like polishing his bowling ball.
Yeah.
I should have that on. That should be one of our things on here. I know you put it on our intro before.
Yeah, you can't just jab at them at this point.
Yeah.
Because they're hanging. You're getting into your 40s, Brett. They're hanging lower. You can't just jab at those motherfuckers because they're not like tightly compact up against the body anymore. You got to be gentle with them so you don't pull a left testicle or damage the many muscles and sinew holding the testicle alive, as you will, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm reading Jack's comments right now.
Okay.
He goes, because he's talking about bringing the anal topics. And he goes, I might give you guys a nip slip, even a ferret cam.
Fair enough, brother. Fair enough. All right, we'll be back. Oh, I think since I'm 46, my balls are still compact. Well, I think it's all a joke.
A lot of side lunges and all sorts of stuff like that.
I mean, I hate to break the crack the veneer of the show, but both of our sacks are pretty tight right now. So Brett's left testicle injury was clearly just it was propaganda. It really was. He's fine. And he's going to get right back to getting pegged by Evie tomorrow.
I was say, of all the narratives you built for me, Derek, you go back on the pulled left testicle, like, oh, that's just made up. He's going to go back to getting pegged before you know it with 10 inches.
Yeah, more. Now we're getting to the real stuff. He'll get back to getting pegged. All right, I give EB my best on that one. Many kisses to EB. Enjoy that. We'll see you on Thursday. Until then, have a great night. Good night.
That hurt.
I want to play in Europe. What the hell does that mean, right? Because Europe could be Latvia, Luxembourg.
No one's talking about Latvia or Luxembourg, dumbass.
So you don't want to just shove it in there. Start with the smaller finger, especially if this is the first time. Start with the smaller finger and go slow.
I mean, there's a lot of things that need to change.
Honey, eating it is the best thing that you can do for your man.
I want people to realize I'm just human. I'm just human, and I make mistakes.
So this guy, Derek, wants to know, is putting your tongue in an ass really the thing to do?
Yeah, it feels really good.
Yeah, it's a weird one, I think.
And I know you want me to toss your salad too, don't you?